think that I just come in there and look for knockouts, and that's not the case. You know, I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who want to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. It's Sunday evening, and we did have some boxing on, man. We had some good boxing on this weekend. It's always an honor to be able to get out here and talk that boxing. And as always, I've been out here, man, purveying the landscape, man. I haven't allowed myself to listen to a lot of the people this time, man, because right when, like, I'm starting to learn how this thing go. Like, really to protect my sanity, what I start doing is I start limiting where I go and who I listen to. I might see a crazy thumbnail, crazy subject matter, and I'm not even going to allow somebody to infect my broker with that BS. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of gotta, you gotta stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to, man. You can't go chasing waterfalls. I think that's like Ephesians 5 and 6. I forgot where I got that from, but I've been guarding myself, man, and I haven't really watched a lot of reactions, a lot of people talking about, much of anything in regards to the fights, right? But I have seen, since it's been a couple of days, I think I went live on Thursday, so we had Friday, Saturday, and now we had Sunday. So I went live 3 days ago. Didn't cover everything I wanted to on Thursday, but it's always been a lot of things that's been brewing, and hadn't really speaked on it. I try to keep the housekeeping limited to a certain amount of things, like 3 or 4 things, because I try to make sure that I'm talking about whatever it is the subject matter is. I don't just put stuff up in the thumbnail and never talk about it. So I try to make sure that that's the focal point, but there be so many things that's going on, and I try to keep a tight shot group on everything, man. When you out here, just like when you go to a restaurant and you get service or something happens, you take notes and you see how you don't want your food to be, and you see how you don't want your customer service to be. So I've been, last week I was looking at some things and looking at some shows online, and I just been putting little notes in my rucksack and trying not to be what I don't like. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep it me, man. I know it's not, it's never going to be the most popular. That's really not the goal. But we always going to speak the truth. We always going to get out in front of it, and we're always going to speak our mind. You know what I'm saying? It's called Bodywork for a reason, man. It's ugly, but it's effective, and we break shit down. You know what I'm saying? We can't be denied. We gonna get, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we risk getting hit on our way in doing that body work, but nevertheless, man, we do not take things for face value, man. We want to know the length, the width, the depth, the breadth, the buoyancy, the capacity, the volume of everything. We put it all on the scales, man. We put it all up in the light, man, and we judge it accordingly. Let's see who we got. Bodywork. Salute Cookie Monster. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Sounding great as always. with the Armstrong emoji. I appreciate that mic check, Cookie Monster. But let me get into the well, before I actually get into the housekeeping, let me do something. I did it the last time I was on, but I gotta do it again, man, because it's ever present out here. It's a lot of gaslighting going on, man, and gaslighting to, refresh your memory. The practice of psychologically manipulating someone into questioning their own sanity, memory, or powers of reasoning. So your sanity, you know what I'm saying? Your ability to think right, have a straight mind. Like, people will have you thinking that you're insane, crazy, deranged. Your memory, people will have you thinking like, dang, man, I know I'm only about 45, but I know my memory, I got a memory like an elephant. I remember. You know what I'm saying? They have you questioning your memory and your powers of reasoning, your ability to make, to use logic, to apply logic to situation. People will come out and say stuff, much like the housekeeping. People have been coming out and saying and doing things, you know what I'm saying? All of this is I'm gonna touch on it when I get to the housekeeping, man. But they will have you second guessing your power of reasoning. It's like, no, man, you got a logical, critically thinking brain. You might not like what's going on. You might not like to see and hear what's going on in the sport, but never let someone manipulate you into not being critically thinking. All they do is take a second, man, to weigh it out. Like, listen, do this make sense? Do that make sense? Like, they think I'm a fool? You know what I'm saying? That's all it take, man. You don't even got to speak out about it, but you can keep it to yourself. You can listen, you can eat the fish, you can spit out the bones. That's what I do in a lot of cases, man. Eat the fish. Even on my show, if you don't like something that I got going on, if you don't like something I said in my video or whatever, we can talk it out. But I was going back and forth for a second. You know what I'm saying? It was just the 1-2. He come out here, and the guy came out in the comment section of one of the videos, and he was yapping about how he was basically saying that it was hard when these fighters come out and shrink down and make weight, like because I said you'll never see certain fighters fighting under rehydration. And I said, well, my point was, although a boxer could have come out and shrank himself down, he didn't. He did it the hard way. He fought at the weight class that he was supposed to fight at, didn't shrink himself down, didn't make him try to make himself look better than what, you know what I'm saying, he looked. And yes, there is a risk involved. And I was like, he didn't do that. He fought at the weight class he was supposed to, and he did it pretty much the hard way. He didn't weight bully at all. So they retorted, and I was like, listen, man, I made my point, man, move on. And then they gave me this novel. And I'm like, look, dude, I'm not going to agree with you, man. If you want to applaud your fighter for coming in and shrinking down, you know what I'm saying? There's plenty of them who did it. Bud did it. Said he wouldn't be eating for 2 days. He's on record saying it. Bud did it. Devin did it. I believe Shakur did it to a certain a point. I mean, they can make the weight, but it is a talent. It is a skill that you can do when you come down and you basically cook yourself to make the weight, to suck down, to get inside of a division, long enough to get on the scales and let it register what it needs to register, just so you can balloon back up and be 2 or 3 weight classes above. If you want to applaud your guy, if you think that, okay, my guy is a beast because he does that, okay, cool, that's on you. You're not going to get me to buy into that BS. You know what I'm saying? It is this talent, it's a skill. It does take a level of risk. We've seen it. We've seen fighters where they done that and they wasn't themselves. There's been a couple fighters that did that for a little bit too long, and we don't know where their careers would be or how much greater they would be, how much more exciting they would be had they not done that. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. But I don't care if you disagree with me. It's when you it's just like a whole demographic of people who have a certain preference. You remind me of them people, man, where it's like okay, that's what you do. That's supposed to be something that you do behind closed doors. Like, why do I have to acknowledge it and like it and be for it? It's like it's really something that should be private. I ain't got nothing to do with it. You cannot force me to agree or buy into or condone or whatever it is. It's like, it is what it is. You can have your stance, I'm gonna have mine. Move on. And I try not to be one of the messy channels, man. That's the beauty in the channel. That's why I always love when people come in and be like, man, I like how this channel always keep it boxing. That's really the focal point. If you don't agree with something I said, you can voice your opinion, but don't try to force me to see things the way you see it. I'm not going to try to force you to see things the way I see it. What I do is I give the alternative opinion to what everybody else is saying, based on the facts that I've come across and that I lay out, with an open discussion, open to anybody bold enough to come and give their opinion. Straight like that. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of boxing going on, man. A lot of lovely, beautiful boxing, man. Let's get into the housekeeping. Number one, Tim Bradley continues to shame the sport, man. You know, I respect Tim Bradley, I really do. I don't understand it. And you know, a lot of people can say, oh man, well, he was professional, you weren't. Okay, cool. He's a Hall of Famer, you weren't. Okay, cool. A lot of things I can say about Tim Bradley that I've done in my life that he hasn't. You know what I'm saying? But since we're in his niche market, you know, I kind of concede to the things that he's saying. I don't agree. I poke holes in what the man be saying, his logic, his reasoning all the time. You know what I'm saying? I said, it got to the point where I said, you know what? I'm not even going to do it no more. But I do want to cite something that Tim Bradley has said, because this is just a microcosm of what's going on. You know that gaslighting? Yeah. Because Tim Bradley is one of those guys that'll come out and tell you that Shakur Stevenson is a superstar, he's a Jedi, he's all these other things, you know, and I agree to a certain extent. Shakur is a star. You know what I'm saying? Whether people want to see him or not, he has like Liam Neeson, he has a special set of skills. You know, I do not take lightly what he's able to, you know, acquire and accumulate since he was a young man, a young boy, turning into a grown man with a family of his own, doing it the way he do, having medal in the Olympics and all that good stuff, you know, embarking on his 4th weight division, you know, having actually unified, you know, playing the accolade game, you know, doing this to champions. Like, I do not take away from that. But Tim Bradley will come out and tell you that he's a superstar, and then he'll come out here and do what I seen him doing earlier, in which he's coming out basically saying that Shakur and Teofimo Lopez is going to be a snoozer and that they need sponsors. And they're going by what I don't know what you want to call this. I call this, when you mix blue and red, you get purple. So I call this guy Purple Veins. I never call him by his real name because I definitely don't want to give him no clout. He's been lying. I think it's been like 3 years now. I stopped watching this content creator. It's been about 3 years, man. It's just, I saw it well before everybody else, and I was like, man, this dude is he's full of bull crap. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not watching no more. Try not to give him that much publicity over here. I even did a video, but out of respect, I did 2 videos for 2 of these content creators, and out of respect for them, I took them down, you know what I'm saying, after a while. And he was one of them. Right, I gave one content creator my Golden Clickbait Award. I took it down out of respect for him. I do respect that guy. I don't understand him all the time. I don't understand why he do the things that he do all the time. But I took it down out of respect for him. The same guy, Purple Veins, I took the video down. I wish I wouldn't have took down Purple Veins, the one I did on him. You know what I'm saying? But he lies. Tim Bradley has taken a back seat to this dude. I don't know why. I don't know what. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I don't even realize like why Tim Bradley is holding on to this dude's coattails. It's almost like at times Tim Bradley is lost. He'll come out and do something sensational, you know, as far as not being sensational as far as like being messy, but do something sensational. Like, you know what? That has a lot of nutritional value coming from a Hall of Famer, you know, a professional who shared the ring with people like Manny Pacquiao, was actually able to get a win over somebody like Manny Pacquiao, you know, go on to get, you know, multiple championships. And, you know, sometimes you have to salute what he says. You're like, oh, okay, cool. That's that, you know, that little short right there, that's cool. This stuff that he's doing now, like at this time, with him shitting on the Shakur versus Tito fight, right now at this time, this is what's wrong with boxing. Like right now, while everybody's thirsty and clamoring over everything that's going on with Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, and you know, who Jake Paul's actually make a mockery of the sport. I call him a poison pill. You know, yeah, he's doing some wonderful things, but you gotta look at the thing that comes along with it, like fake fights, people taking dives, him watering down, you know, the sport. Now, whether or not, you know, you have an anticipation, wondering whether or not his opposition is going to come in there and really fight or not. Him ducking and dodging real competition like Hakeem Rahman Jr., you know what I'm saying? Like how he pulled out of the fight with Tank because Tank wasn't going to stick to the script. People are clamoring and they'll talk all day about that stuff. They want to go all day back and forth. But then when we do get a fight where a guy like Shakur Stevenson, an Olympian, moving up into his 4th division to take on one of the 4 kings, quote unquote, like I told y'all, when we get the fights that we need, like the legacy type fights, people come out of the blue and shit on them. Like, y'all really be thinking that I be playing around. Like, I really be mocking people when I say that people really don't like boxing. Like, boxing is a lick in which people have figured out that they can come in here and grab money. You like, if you can come in and ingratiate yourself with a certain group like the LDBC or one of these major channels that come on in the morning, you tickle their balls and rub their back, get them to do a couple shout outs, and the next thing you know, you got your own show and you're doing your own thing. You can get money. People will come in and super chat you. You don't even have to watch the fight. You can give your opinion. They'll come in, they'll super chat you. They'll say, oh man, you the wildest man in boxing and all. You don't even watch the fights. Like, people have understood and they understand now that boxing is a lick. You can come in, do a nice creative thumbnail, say, hey man, link up with me and give a shout out to some dumbass person out here in the boxing world that everybody can recognize, and you cooking with gas. People do not appreciate the legacy of the sport. They do not appreciate like champion versus champion, like pure boxing. They don't appreciate nothing that's going to uphold the integrity of the sport. Real skills, it depends on who you are, whether or not their knowledge, whether or not you have real skills, whether or not, you know, you actually take on fighters that, you know, where you don't have all the advantages, stuff like that. They don't care. They pick and choose when it comes to that. So I find it real odd that Tim Bradley is being creative and shitting on this fight, because in one breath you just told, and then this is what Tim Bradley does. He's gonna flip flop back and forth all the way up until January 31st, all the way up until when they say ding ding, and then afterwards he's gonna take one of them segments, just like a dude who do analysis on like the actual boxing. He's gonna flip flop. Oh, this is how this person can win. This is how that person can win. This is how this person can win. This is how that person can win. And then right after the fight, I told y'all who was gonna win. I told y'all what was going. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the entire fuck up. Y'all do not care about the sport, man. I don't know who y'all think y'all fooling. I don't know why Tim Bradley don't go sit his dumb ass down somewhere. Like, I don't know why you would be shitting on a fight like that. This is a legacy fight. Sure, they both had their ups and downs as far as performances and all that. All boxers do. Bad nights at the office, all of that. But like, for you to be a professional, for you to be a Hall of Famer, why are you out here trolling 2 champions especially with Tito, the way he been acting, it's almost like, man, it's almost like how they train whales. I read a book a long time ago called Well Done. It's how you train whales, because you can't spank a whale. So we can't spank a lot of y'all dumb motherfuckers, but what we can do is reward y'all dumbasses when you do something good. So we need to reward Tito for actually signing a contract for somebody we want to see him fight. We got to reward Shakur for not just being Twitterson and actually moving up and fighting somebody that we want to see him fight. But then you got some dumb bubblehead ass Tim Bradley coming out here shitting on the fight, being creative when there's 1,000 other things out here you could be shitting on. It don't make no sense. It's like, but I know, man, everybody loves attention, man. Everybody want their little, 15 minutes of fame. Tim done had way more. Tim done had about an hour and a half full of fame. Why you not trying to get with Andre Ward and trying to figure out how y'all can do a segment? And maybe you can fill in for Roy Jones with Andre Ward could keep your dumb ass on the tracks a little bit. Y'all can have a fruitful conversation instead of you and your dumb ass out here trolling a major fight, saying that Starbucks need to sponsor and cater it to it. It's like, regardless of what you think, whether you think people gonna fall asleep or not, it's like, this is why I know that when people be talking that legacy shit, just like before, when people was shitting on Tank and saying, oh man, he don't want to fight nobody, yeah, he fought more champions than all these motherfuckers. It's like you don't care. He said I want the money, but he's done more legacy things than most of these niggas. And people been wanting to fight him. People don't acknowledge that. That's why I say, man, back up all that, like, because y'all sound dumb in hindsight, saying that y'all all about the legacy and all this legacy talk, and y'all come out and do stuff like what Tim Bradley is doing now. I can't make it up. There is no reason for a Hall of Famer like Tim Bradley, with all of the accolades and the resume that he has, and just a reputation that precedes him, like a reputation that stands alone because he was able to ingratiate himself amongst a whole different corridor of people who laced up gloves and got into the Hall of Fame. Like, why are you out here shitting on a fight or saying that you need sponsors and agreeing with a liar, a dude who just make up content and anytime his mouth is open, he's lying? Why would you be doing that, Tim? And you can say, oh man, I went to the Hall of Fame and yeah, I was professional, but Tim, I'm older than you. So I don't even give a fuck. So just on that alone, so if I went on the whole, I'm older than you, and I'm showing that I'm a little more mature than you, I could just rest my hat on that. I'm just older than you. Don't got nothing to do with you being professional. I'm older than you. You should be more mature than that. You can use whatever you want to put me down. Oh, he don't have that many views. Well, people don't really watch his channel. Who is he? He's never laced all of that. But you the one acting immature and unprofessional as a Hall of Famer, shitting on a fight. It don't make no sense. Especially when you come out one day and you come out and for Shakur and you being the gatekeeper. One day you coming out and you telling us that he the best thing since sliced bread. That's one day. One day you doing this. You having everybody hold back and you protecting the man while he just back there, you guarding and catching and making all kind of excuses for the moves and all that. And then the next day, you coming out and you shitting on the fight. I don't get it. You don't got nothing better to do? I don't get it, man. I don't really get it. Honeybee, salute Bodywork, salute Honeybee. I appreciate you. Moving on along, man. Suleiman, Mauricio Suleiman, the Suleiman versus Bud saga continues to expose everybody in boxing, man. Like, I kind of appreciate it in a sense, man, that this whole back and forth. To a certain extent, I seen something where Mauricio Suleiman, he went on one of them guys' channel, had like a half an hour interview, and I wanted to kind of see, more. Even though I think I had a good firm grasp on what was going on before, I just kind of wanted to see a little bit more of where Mauricio Suleiman was coming from, and I think it was one of them fight hype videos. And I listened to Suleiman. Suleiman didn't disrespect Bud at all. He didn't take away from the caliber of fighter he was at all. But he did say it's ridiculous. He said it's utterly ridiculous. Like the conversation that people are having right now today is utterly ridiculous when it comes down to the sanctioning fees. And I said, this is one of them things, man, when I figured out that Bud ran off on the plug twice, I said, man, this is one of them things to where had you not done what you did, people would not be going back through with a fine-tooth comb and coming across things that they would have had no clue about before. So it's almost like you opened up Pandora's box for not basically paying for something that you agreed to pay for. You cause people to get more in depth and to go in. It's almost like, you know, when you catch somebody in a lie, and then, okay, so once you catch them in a lie, then you got to ask a question, then you ask that question, and it leads to another question, and then another question, and then it's like, hold on, and now you got more questions than answers. It's like, that's what this whole ordeal has done for me. I think it was the silliest thing for Bud to do, you know, especially when, and I'm gonna tell y'all how he exposed everybody. He exposed people who hate certain fighters. He exposed people who just hate the PBC. He exposed certain people who just hate Earl Spence. He exposed people who just hate Tank Davis. He exposed people who just hate anybody that the media wasn't pushing. You know, he exposed a lot of people who hate the people who actually grabbed the boxing game by the horns and was shaking all of the change out of his pockets while appealing to the masses, like a Tank Davis, like a Earl Spence. Because I remember when they actually spoke out about the sanctioning fees and all that. He also exposed the fact that you can tell when somebody really not used to getting like bread like that. Like, you used to getting bread, but not that kind of bread. You know why? Because there was never a problem until the money got past a certain threshold. Although when these other boxers who are already getting paid a significant amount more of money, they had already started to complain about it. Everybody dismissed them. Everybody else, you was saying that, oh man, they just don't want to fight nobody. Oh man, like just like what they said with Earl when he said, you know, they started calling him the easy route, because he said, I'm gonna take the easy route, basically make the fights that's over here on my side, and then I'm gonna come for Bud last. People are still holding on to that whole easy route Earl Spence thing, and I'm like, you know what? Like in an effort to do a critical thinking exercise. And how, because I call Bud the dung beetle. He got that dung beetle effect, where because the way the dung beetle works is the dung beetle, they have to like corral like these big piles of shit, right? So they corral them up, and they have to roll them up the hill, right? And every now and again, like they get too big and they roll down, and they got to start over again. They get all the way up to the top of the hill, right? And then right when they get on the downward side of the hill, they reach the peak, and they start looking over the edge. Another dung beetle will pop up out of nowhere, knock them off their shit, and then they had control with it, and they took it all, but they let the other guy do all the work. Well, you know, part of the heavy lifting, you know what part of the heavy lifting is? Part of the heavy lifting is allowing one guy to go out and get, like, if he was already like, let's just use Earl Spence. Part of the heavy lifting was to allow Earl Spence to already pay the sanctioning fee for the belt that he had, go out, acquire another belt, and pay the sanctioning fee for what he had for that second belt, then go get another belt, pay the sanctioning fee for that belt that you have, while you sit there with one belt and pay that one sanctioning fee every time you fight. But you realize that every time after that second belt and that third belt, every time that they actually fight, they are paying sanctioning fees for not only one belt, but for however many belts that they have. And that's more impactful when they're actually making way more money than you. Like, that's why it don't make no sense. So when Earl said it, everybody dismissed him like, oh man, you shut your dumb ass up. You just don't want to pay. Stop being cheap, blah, blah, blah. When Tank said it, because he was making significantly amount more money, People just dismissed, oh, you just don't want to fight nobody. When Tank said it. But you know what Tank didn't do? Tank didn't go fight for something and then be like, nah, I ain't paying my tab. He didn't do it. And so when you do that at multiple divisions, when you take the least path outside of Devin, when he fights one time to get, like, now he's in a whole different demographic where he fought one champion, he's going to go fight another champion, right? And then he's going to have to fight another champion, unless two other fighters unify those other two belts, one of the other two belts or one of the other three belts, right? He's actually going to like walk the walk and go all the way through to where we know he can't get undisputed with one fight in this division. Why? Because he got one belt and there's three other boxers that got the other three belts. So he's going to do that. But when you sit there and you allow one person to collect all those other belts, they are carrying the load of paying the sanctioning fees for all those other belts. And it's not until you get them where you finally got to pay it one time, and you don't want to do that. Mauricio Suleiman also said that there's life insurance, that there's health insurance for those belts. Like, he's doubling down and he's letting the masses know that there are other things. Like, do we agree? Like, no. I came out and said that after a certain amount, it should be a schedule. Like, once you start making past a certain amount, it should be a schedule, because that will prevent people from doing things like that, like allowing somebody to go collect the belts and go do all this and pay the sanction fees. You come by one time and swoop in, and you don't, you know what I'm saying, and then you negotiate. Well, you getting over all around. That's why I said, when I first learned about this, I said, dang, man, it was kind of messed up and sloppy that the curtain was pulled back on this, especially when it became known that they negotiated with you and gave you a deal. You know how many people said, what? You negotiated with him? You know how many people that probably, a lot of them boxers who was already getting that kind of bread probably looked back and said, well, you gave him a special deal? And everybody keeps saying everybody keeps saying it was 0.6%. I don't know, man. I think your calculator might be broke. I think your calculator might be broke. I think the calculator might be broke, man, because when I do the math, let me see, man. I did it once, but let me just make sure my math is mathing. Let me just do it one more time. Everybody keeps saying it was 0.6%. I'm gonna show y'all something. Look at this, y'all. Like, so I know some people out here, man, they real popular, whatever, you know what I'm saying? They getting, you know, they don't have all their faculties in order, but they're leading sheep to the slaughter by keep telling y'all the same dumbass rehearsing the same thing. They don't sit down and qualify. They heard one person say it and they running down. But listen up, class. Listen. 300,000, which is what they said, divided by 50 million. Is 0.006%. It's not 0.6%. Like, do y'all get that? Like, it's not 0.6%. I don't know. I mean, my math might be off. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. Could be. His twin, salute. Bodywork, salute. Chat. But like my whole thing is, I'm not arguing about how somebody feel about these fees. I just think that, man, along with everything else, you like when you start arguing and bickering over stuff like that, man, you are going to shake up the entire infrastructure of boxing. Like, you know, you're gonna have young people that look up to you, man, to where they're gonna think, oh man, I don't need that belt. I don't want. It's like, okay, so when it comes to ranking people and putting people in a position to fight, now we're gonna be going by a word of mouth type situation. I know AC always said it's like when we came down to that WBA situation, where like when Boots was fighting Stanionis, where they got together and decided that Boots was number one and Stanionis was number two. I mean, by default, you could say that Boots was number one, right? You can say that, but like if you think about it, it was not. If Bud was undisputed and he had all the belts, the lineage was never passed until he got stripped. So it pretty much started over. So when he got stripped, if you were one of the recipients of the belts that he got once he got stripped, then how can we say who's number one and who's number two? Outside of that, the way that they were able to say who was number one and who was number two was based on a ranking system. Well, who gets paid to rank? So people don't sit around and do that kind of stuff for free. There's not like those people in those offices, they got to get paid. They got like, it got to be something. There got to be something on the banner. There got to be some kind of like, so I like, for me, man, it just made me think like, oh man, like, a lot of these cats is out here talking about this particular subject, man. It's like I feel the same way Suleiman, and I've had it out with Suleiman, not directly to where I talk to him, but I've had it out with him online, like especially when it came down to that franchise stuff and these moves, and even the move that he just made here recently, when he dictated that WBC was going to be on the line. That interim was going to be on the line for the Shaki Fulton fight because Fulton missed weight. It wasn't no outrage on that. But it's kind of strange how people don't speak out about those things when certain fighters get messed over. Because Nunez and JJ Herrera was getting ready to get messed over with that situation. Fortunately for them, but Shaki Foster said that he's gonna drop that belt. He ain't even gonna take it. He's gonna retain his 130 because I guess he know that Shakur is pretty much not gonna fight him. But like, I don't like it. Make me be like, man, like as far as business goes, it make me think that, man, like I don't know what kind of business y'all be doing out there. With the kind of logic y'all have and how y'all agree, and it's going to mess a lot of people. It's going to mess a lot of these fighters up. I see Keyshawn, and I'm like, man, Keyshawn, if this is slide into housekeeping number 3, Keyshawn deletes his entire team. I guess hindsight is 2020, huh? Hindsight is 2020, huh? Because I was like, man, what kind of people you got around you that's allowing you to crash out like this? That it was like watching somebody fly over the cliff, like when they move, when they do everything in slow motion, like Final Destination, like when everything is like going in slow motion, and you could just do one thing to stop it, and everybody around him just let him go and just let him crash out. But he deleted his whole team. Hindsight is 2020, huh? I guess old Bodywork. Old Mike Rogers wasn't hating on old Keyshawn, huh? Being that he went ahead and deleted his whole team, starting over from scratch, huh? It's kind of wild, huh? Mm-hmm. But I heard him talking about it, saying that he was saying, well, when I go into the stadium, people gonna want to see me fight, and all. Like yeah, like people who rock with you, they gonna want to see you fight. But like, yeah, I mean, if y'all tamper with this belt stuff too much, like it's gonna mess up the entire infrastructure. And I think that right now, without being a champion, not being in a position, and you saying things like that, when it come down to somebody sanctioning your fight, they're gonna remember what you put down on wax. Cause these guys do sanction the fights, man. Like they sanction the fights. They involved with the testing, the drug testing. That's part of your health insurance, your life insurance. Like it's like, I'm like, man, I don't know, man. Don't put your foot in your mouth to where it's gonna come around and bite you in the tail, man, because you want to jump into a war and stake claim for a certain side, and that certain side is wrong. You know what I'm saying? That side, the side that you buying for, the side that you on, the side that you condoning, that side is wrong. It's plain and simple. It may not be like a lot of our business because we don't strap them up. You know what I'm saying? But like, if we're gonna talk about it, because I see that this is like, this conversation is plaguing the internet. And you know, I mean, you can look at it how you want to, but Bud was wrong, man. Like, opened up a whole can of worms, and it's like a domino effect. Like, you know how you tip the dominoes down and you just watch them go in and around, and how people make those long structures with dominoes. Like, it's a domino effect, man. It's not right. Yes, there should be a threshold. Once it get past the threshold, as far as the money, a good thing would be to cap it off at a certain amount and do increments. So like after every 10 million, it should be, you know, a point whatever percent, you know, and then you play that, and then a point whatever percent, you know, for every 10 million after that, like, you know, with a cap somewhere, because, you know, you'll be taking advantage of a certain fighter because they're able to sell and they're able to garner more wages than, you know, somebody else who don't sell and can't garner as much wages. That would be the best thing. I said this the other day, you know what I'm saying? And I see somebody took it and ran with it like it's their own, but you can go back and do the research, man, and see what that talking point was created. You know, that's what I believe works the best. The last one, DHP. DHP is still nutsack promoting, man. Like, I do not understand. Like, I thought they was over this, but like, I found it real odd. That Devin was using this young man's name again. Well, his father was using this young man's name again. And like, out of the blue, like, hold on, you up at welterweight, calling out Tank, and then talking about how Devin bought you a car and how you don't see Tank buying these cars for Coach Calvin and Coach Kenny, and that Debo was looking for him and all this and all that. And just like your biggest knee pad wearing fan said, like, had you not got that Brian Norman smoke, you was gonna fight Crockett. And so now you gonna fight Crockett. I'm like, this is like, I thought he outgrew this. Especially since y'all like 2 divisions apart. If business wise, if the business of boxing was still calling for it and demanding it, it would make sense. But like, out of the blue, just to announce that, like, it's like you still nutsack promoting. Like, this is how Devin, and this is another thing why people be saying, the hate that he get is just so unreal. It's so unnecessary. It's like you just shut a lot of people up with the fight, with a victory over Brian Norman. You had people talking and buzzing again once you start saying you wanted Rolly. I guess you figured since you're not getting Rolly, let's go ahead and clout chase Tank, knowing that we got this other plan over here. I'm like, well, why didn't you just go ahead and fight Crocker to begin with? Because you was never going to fight under that 10-pound rehydration. The same reason why I said you have no reason or no real explanation as to why you should be trying to like knock somebody like Richardson Hitchens, who went to 140, didn't suck down, and when he went to go get his championship, he did it under the IBF. Now that you already have a belt, of course you can go get that strap from Crocker because there's no rehydration. It's a unification, so you don't even have to worry about that. But who knows? Like, I already knew this, but this is a pattern where I used to say all the time, GHP was always famous for calling out this big name and then fighting somebody else. Calling out this big name and then fighting somebody else. We went through it when it was Mr. Gary Russell, when they was calling out, and they went to go fight who? Gambo. They'll call out Tank, and then they go fight who? Jojo Diaz. Even when Rolly came up on those allegations and that fight got, and they had to remove him from the card, and that's how Isaac Pitbull Cruz came into the play. You know who clout chased him? Who said, "Oh, I'll fight him"? Devin. Who did he wind up fighting? Kambosos. George Kambosos. So I don't know why y'all picked up that, but it's just a character flaw. CJ Rich. Enough for a tall can. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you, CJ, man. Yeah, I've been sober. I'm gonna give me a tall can of that cranberry ginger ale. That's what I'll be drinking now, man. I don't even be sipping no more, man. I put down the ganja. I put down the alcohol. It's been a minute too, man. I've been Dry County for a minute. Man. Put down that ganja. It's been well over a year. The alcohol has been well over a year now. The Black and Miles. Definitely 6 months, longer than 6 months. Yeah. But I appreciate it, man. I appreciate that, bro. For real. I kind of feel back from Devin, man. He kind of made me proud by taking the Brian Norman. It made me eat crow by beating Brian Norman, but it's like, don't go back to those ways, man. Like, I'm not even gonna do videos about him no more, man. It's just he is like, they promote the way they promote. They've been using Tank name their whole career, knowing that that's probably a career-ending fight, because there's enough animosity in there to where Tank ain't gonna go in there and treat you fairly friendly or be in the wrong headspace like when he was in there with Lamont Roach. Like, Lamont Roach, they was actually cool. They actually was all right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they like that anymore, but I'm pretty sure they probably are. It's just, the frustration of all that stuff that Lamont was talking. Probably got Tank 38 hot, but like, I don't think that Tank would actually treat you the same way, Dev or Bill. You know what I'm saying? I think Bill, I don't think Tank would treat your son the same way, man. I don't think you're gonna get that long leash that Lamont got for being somewhat cool, semi-cool, quasi-cool with Tank. I think that'll be career-ending, man, if y'all do bite that bullet. But we knew that you wasn't gonna fight Tank, and y'all don't want to fight Tank anyway. Melazar, can't say bye. Salute, Melazar. We say salute, everyone. Salute, man. But that's all of the housekeeping. Y'all want to get down to Z meats and Z potatoes. About last night. The way I see it, man, Joe Cordina, man, the last time Joe Cordina popped up on anybody's radar, Abdullah Mason versus Tank is very interesting for me. Yeah, I think Tank, for me, that fight, for me, I like, man, I like Abdullah Mason, man. I like the trajectory that he's on. But I think, man, what happens with Abdullah Mason and Tank right now, that's like that'll be the same thing as what happened with Erickson Lubin and Jamel Charlo, man. Where that man career gets sent on a whole different trajectory. He can in there with Tank right now. The defensive lapses, the willingness to fight. Then that's a southpaw versus southpaw type fight. I think he'll get put on that same trajectory, man. That the Erickson Lubin. Yeah, Erickson Lubin. He'll go out like Erickson Lubin, man. Like what Jamel Charlo did to Erickson Lubin, man. I see that happening, man. Respectfully to Abdullah Mason. I think Abdullah Mason got a bright future, man. But that leads me into the question right now, like the topic at hand I was getting into right now with Joe Cordina. Last time Joe Cordina really popped up on my radar was when Shakur Stevenson was talking about fighting him, and I was like, nah, man, he just came off of a knockout loss, and you're pulling him up because everybody was giving Tank all that slack saying that he was pulling up Lamont, and he pulled up Hector, even though those guys are bigger. And Lamont has shown that not only did he go up to 35, but this next fight he went up to 40. So I think that whole conversation is starting to get worn out. That fight didn't happen because Shakur Stevenson actually pulled out with a hand injury before the Cordina fight, and Cordina was kind of bummed out about it. But he fought Gabriel Flores last night. You know, Melazar. Cordina fought Gabriel Flores. I had the fight 117, 111. That's what one of the judges had it as. But he showed he did get caught. Like Flores was touching him at times. He did have some moments, but Cordina looked good, man. He showed that there was definitely a level of prowess. He showed his championship prowess. He looked real seasoned, and he wound up winning that fight with pace. And I thought Flores was going to actually, he caught him, but like, man, Cordina looked, his punch resistance was definitely there because he caught him. The left hook, I said that the left hook found a home all night. Gabriel Flores, he had a home for the left hook all night, but it was like Cordina was eating him like Skittles. He was coming in with his flurries, and he was timing Flores, man. And he kind of wore Flores down. I thought that Cordina had I thought he was getting ready to stop Flores. I think it was like around the 10th or the 11th. I thought he was getting ready to stop him, but he let him make it. You know, at 34 years old. He was 34 fighting a guy that was 24, his 10 years junior to him. He definitely showed he had a gas tank. He did that in that man's backyard out in Stockton, California. And speaking of Melazar, they asked him about Abdullah Mason. He said, sure, I would love that fight. I would actually love that fight. I would love that fight right now. I would love that fight right now. Why? Because Cordina is tenured. You know what I'm saying? He's skilled. He's a little older, a little more mature. That would be a great test for Abdullah Mason fighting a former champion. And now that we know that Joe Cordina is acclimated to the weight. He looked healthy. He looked, kind of strong. You know what I'm saying? And he can box. So I like that fight. But he said, they asked him about Abdullah Mason, and he said, yeah. And you said La Granada de los Santos finally fought last night too. Yeah, I gotta go back and watch that. I gotta go back and watch that fight, man. I don't know why they didn't update it. They didn't update that fight. Oh, you got a first round knockout? You got a first round knockout? Yeah. That dude was like 12 and what was he, 12 and 7? Yeah, he was 12, 7 and 1, man. I knew he wanted to get back in there and get his feet wet, man. But that's good for Edwin. Tito Mercado, man. Tito Mercado, man, didn't miss nothing. A clean, easy KO. Okay, I'm gonna go back and watch the highlight, man, when we get off of here. But let's go to Tito, man. The guy. I don't even think I took notes on Tito, man. I don't even think I took notes on Tito Mercado fight. I didn't. I just said I was gonna watch it. But listen, man, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, man. Boxing, I told y'all boxing is fixed, man. Look, I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna prove it to y'all, man. Let me prove it to y'all. Playing GTA. Okay, and listen. All right. Look, I'm gonna prove it to y'all. I'm gonna prove to y'all that boxing is fixed. Y'all wanna see something? Watch this. Watch this. I'm about to prove it to y'all. Watch. I'm gonna prove to y'all that boxing is fixed. Just gotta get it. I gotta bring it over. All right, I just sent the images over, so now I'm gonna put them up here. I'm gonna put them up. All right, let me see. Thanks for your patience, but I want to show y'all something, man. I'm gonna show you how cold your boy is, and then two, how boxing be fixing shit, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. All right. So I just gotta get it. I gotta get it up. I gotta get it up here on let me get it up here. Let me get it in my slides so I can show y'all, man. Y'all gonna like this. Y'all gonna like this, man. See, I didn't know if I was gonna pull it out, but I say forget it, man. We gotta put stakes in the ground, man. Cause y'all be thinking I'll be playing around with this boxing, man. But I'm gonna show y'all. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you something. All right, y'all ready? Watch this. All right, y'all. All right, so this is what I put. Like, so I screenshotted this an hour after I put it up online yesterday, right? I said just a little sprinkle to see if I can make it drizzle. I'm watching for the fix. If Mercado goes 6, of course I think Diego can stop anybody if they act up, but I'm playing it safe. Anyways, this is a sleeper card with Joe Cordina and Sky, meaning Sky Nicholson, bouncing back, right? So that's the top of the thing I put on the channel yesterday. Like after I placed my bets, I did a screenshot of my ticket, right? And I had a bet going for a 4-leg parlay for a plus 675, right? I put down $20 to win $155, right? And I'm gonna show y'all what happened. So I had Ernesto. I had that going under. I picked the under of 5.5. Under 5.5. Now, you know when he stopped him? He stopped him in the 6. He stopped the man in the 6. Just remember the last time when I told y'all about this, I had Bam Rodriguez for the under 9.5. He stopped him in the 10th. And I also had Iris Landy Lawless stopping old boy, but he wound up, remember he dropped him early, and then he dropped him in the last 20 seconds of the fight, and the ref could have called it off, but they let it go the distance. Those 3 times. But now I'm seeing now, this is what you got to know. You got to know if there's a, like, especially when it comes to Bam, because I've lost my whole leg. That's the only leg that I lost on my parlay, the under 5.5, and he stopped them in 6. There's no irony in the fact that he stopped them in the 6. Just like there's no irony in the fact that Bam Rodriguez in that fight against Puma Martinez, when the under was 9.5, he stopped them in the 10th. There's no irony. So when the under is like that, you need to pick the round right after the over, right after the under over. Because look what wound up happening. Sky Nicholson wound up dominating her person on money line. Joe Cordina wound up dominating on the money line, right? Diego Pacheco, decision or technical decision. So had Ernesto Mercado did what he's supposed to do and stopped him with the under, that'd have been $155 for $20. So look. So what did Bodywork say? I'm watching. What did it say? I'm watching for the fix if Mercado goes 6. That fight should have never got into the 6th round, but they had the under over at 5.5. That's how cold I am. And now, you know how many you know how many parlays I've had where I've had like 4 or 5 leg parlays where everything hit, but some bullshit like that. Like, it's no irony, man, because they show you, they show you that, like, right, he should have got him out of there in round 4, actually. But I'll never put out that much. You know what I'm saying? I don't be putting that much down, so it don't really bother me. Because this is like, hey, 20 to get you 155 is like, okay, cool. It don't really bother me because it's like, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what can you do? It don't bother me, but at the same time, Tito Mercado is intimidating a lot of people up there at 140. You know what I'm saying? I think that he has a shot. He has a shot with anybody up there at 140. A lot of people said Puma Martinez didn't need to fight that 10th round. Exactly. I know what it is. I talked to AC. I told AC, I said, man, this is what the business of boxing been doing, man. And this is how they mess you up. They know about them under and overs, man. It ain't no reason why they come out. Ain't no reason why he came out the way he came out in the 6th and stopped them, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't let me get you off the beaten path with some conspiracy theory stuff. But like with the under over being 9.5, and that's not the first time Bam did that. That's not the first time I lost a leg. I could have got like $3,000 with Bam, where I picked the round, and instead of, I said he was going to stop him in that round and he was going to knock him down. I think I said he was going to do it in the first minute of the round, and he did it in the last minute of the round. Lost like 3,000 big ones on a small bet. A small bet with all my parlays, and he wound up doing it in the last. But like, there's no irony. There's really no irony because there's really no coincidences that the under was 9.5. He stopped him in the 10th, and here with the Pacheco, with the Tito Mercado, the under over was 5.5. He stopped him in 6. That's not irony, man. So now what you got to do is, if they got now I know if they got an under and over, like for a 5.5, you pick that round right after 6. You pick that round right after. If they have an under over for 9.5 and you don't think it's gonna go the distance, you pick that round right after the under over. You know what I'm saying? So that people that's picking straight for the KO, because it's not as much money. Why? Because they know more than likely he's gonna knock him out. Where you losing that is the fact that they're telling you when he's gonna knock him out. Because it's no money if you just pick that he knock him out. Everybody know pretty much that, like, more than likely, unless he got something wrong with him, he's gonna spark this one. Like when you see that ain't no money in the sparkage, like it's like barely winning, like, because they know he's gonna spark them. They're playing the fan on when he's gonna spark them. He can spark them at any time. That's just like Lara. Lara could have took that dude out at any point in time, but for whatever reason, he carried that dude, dropped him at the last minute, and he could have been got him out of there. Lara was on like a 4-fight knockout streak. You know what I'm saying? And Buddy was not on lower level, didn't have the footwork, didn't have the defense. He was a knockout puncher, yes. So you had to respect what was coming back in regard to Lara, but like, he had no business going a distance, but he did. But that's it. That's why I want to tell y'all, that's how cold I am. I got a 4-leg parlay right, and I was off by a half a round because he stopped him in the beginning. He stopped him in the beginning of the 6th, and he beat the over. He beat the under 5.5. So anything past a minute and a half in the 5th round, it was over. You know what I'm saying? Then he come out and stop him right in the 6th. That's how cold your boy be, man. No harm, no foul. But let's get down to the meat and potatoes, man. A while ago, we had came out and we asked this question. We said, who is the best? Where's the future of 68? Right? We had Edgar Berlanga on there. Why? Because he made himself a major player. We had Hamza Shiraz on there. Hamza Shiraz pretty much eliminated Edgar Berlanga. We had who my father-in-law. He like him. They called him the French Mike Tyson, Christian and Billy. He loves some Christian and Billy. And then we had another one of my guys, Diego Pacheco. So I like Hamza. I like Diego Pacheco. I was at one point in time, I thought Jared Anderson and Fabio Wardley were those, like, we're going to be those guys. I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. After seeing what I saw last night, man, I believe that Diego Pacheco is still a major player, but I think he still needs to work on some things. Granted, he started over. He got rid of, but let's just say he parted ways with Benavidez. Benavidez Sr., he got, they parted ways. Him and Benavidez Sr. parted ways. And there was another guy that was in his corner. Said that he'd been around and all of that, but like, I don't know if that was something. He said he added 2 more people to his strength and conditioning, and the focus was more on legs. But in my opinion, man, that was a total wrong fight that he fought, man. Now maybe Kevin Sadjo is the type that imposes will and makes you fight his fight. But it's starting to, like, now I got a rule. I got a new rule. I know how I like coming up with these rules. I got a new rule, and this new rule is that until I see you fight up against what I'm calling the armadillo style, that's what Sadjo got. That's what Pitbull Cruz got. Until I see you fight against that armadillo style, it's the same style that Gustavo Lemos got. It's the same style that Nick Ball got. Until I see you fight against that armadillo style, those short, stocky that can cover up, where you can barely even hit them in the hard guard, but they do those overhand punches. Until I see how you fare against that style, because that is a style. That is a style of its own, a very tough, hard, formidable style. And Diego Pacheco, I was pride in Diego Pacheco on being able to fight behind a jab, fight off of the jab, using his height and using his reach. He gave up all of his advantages last night. And he likes to fight. For the fans, it's going to be a fan-friendly fight, but he likes to fight. It was a lot of clinching last night, too. But let me go ahead and break down this fight. Now, he did win the first 4 rounds. He did win the first 4 rounds straight up. He had a nice uppercut. He had some good body work. Sadjo was kind of cautious in the first. In the second round, he controlled the distance. Diego controlled the distance and clinched when he was clinching, old boy. That's when he started clinching, man. Every time Sadjo would get on the inside. And then he controlled the action, and he was getting his points in the third. In the third, Sadjo had 1 or 2 lead lefts, but he really wasn't getting off. But he did have those lead lefts. The 4th round was pretty much the same. The 5th round, he got hit. Pacheco did. With 5 or 6 big right hands. You know what I'm saying? That's when I started looking like, hold on, man. You can't do this against this guy. And that was the first successful round that I think Sadjo had. You know what I'm saying? Where he kind of caught Pacheco's attention. In the 6th round, he went around the guard with the hooks and he started doing some body work. And I said that Sadjo slipped in a couple of he got in a couple good shots. The 7th round was a clinch fest. And Pacheco got hurt. Sadjo had a big left hook and dropped Pacheco in the 8th round. And that was the 8-10 round. Up until that point, Pacheco had banked enough rounds to where he had like a 3-point lead in my opinion. It was 77-74. So in the 9th, I gave the 9th to Sadjo. I gave the 10th to Sadjo. The 11th back to Pacheco and the 12th back to Pacheco. But I put in the 9th round. He's not fighting with his height and his reach. And big right hand for Sadjo. He had that big right hand again. And I said in the 10th, I was like, man, he fighting the wrong fight. At the 10th, big right hand again. He got Pacheco fighting the wrong fight. The 11th, he made an adjustment. He pivoted and he was using the uppercut right hand. And Sadjo got hurt in the 11th. You know what I'm saying? I think that Diego Pacheco didn't capitalize when he did get Sadjo hurt, but he was tired. He fought the wrong fight, but he thugged it out. You know what I'm saying? And I said that in the 12th, it was clear that Sadjo was tired and he got off in spurts. But for my assessment, I'm still high on Diego. Don't get me wrong. I just think that, especially with this new trainer or whatever, like the realm and the people that I thought he was ready for to go in. Now I see why maybe you don't want to go in there with a Hamza, even though it's a different kind of fight, because maybe that was a style. That's why I'm trying not to. I was kind of trying to get a feel for how Diego was answering the questions afterwards and all that. He was like, yeah, man, basically, I got knocked down. It was more of a balance thing. I got back up. He said I was never really hurt. It happens in boxing. I've never been down in my career. He said it happens, but he said I pretty much controlled and did this. I was like, yeah, but Diego, man, it wasn't enough for me to do an adversity university, but those scorecards. Now, I had it 115, 112. One judge did have it 115, 112. But to have it 117 to 110 and 116 to 111 for a unanimous decision all the way, man, that was... I understand maybe a UD, but 117 to 110 and 116 to 111? I don't know, man. I'm gonna love to watch and sit back and watch who the big wigs, like what Teddy Atlas say about it, somebody like Antonio Tarver, somebody like Andre Ward. I can't wait to sit back and see how these guys actually looked at that fight, if they care to give an opinion on that fight. But I think that Diego Pacheco fought the wrong fight, man. Like, he got to fight with his height. He got to fight with his reach, man, because the way I thought that he would just slaughter somebody like Christian and Billy, I think that's a very, very tough fight now. And now we get to see that same style, because I'm thinking, man, Hamza was just gonna make light work of Billy, but since Billy kind of got that armadillo style, he come in with them power wings, you know what I'm saying, just swinging, and impressing. We're gonna see if Hamza Shiraz can deal with that. That is a true style that every fighter has to deal with. We've seen what happened with Lamont Roach. He had a lot of success, yes, when he boxed and when he chose to use his feet, use his distance, use his back foot, but he was trying to be the counter. I don't think you necessarily can be a counter puncher with that style. I think you got to use your jab to keep them out range. You got to step off to the side. You got to set the trap so that when they break a barrier, boom, you hit him. Like it was times when I seen Pacheco and he did it once where he set the jab, boom, and then when the jab wasn't there, he kind of like jerked his way in. Pacheco hit him with the uppercut and then pivoted out. And then once the guy trying to find you again, you hit the jab, either hook, uppercut, pivot out. Like it should be like that until you catch the dude one time and he get tired of doing the same thing over and over again. You know, I was kind of concerned for Diego last night, man. If that dude would have had a little bit more power, if he'd have had a little bit more skill other than, you know what I'm saying, covering up, shelling up, and getting on the inside the way he was, if he didn't allow you to clinch him that much, that fight could have been, that fight could have got scary. So I'm not, you know, I'm not down on Diego at all. I'm not down. I'm just saying that, man, if you fight the right kind of style, there are areas where you can have success. You know, I'm glad Diego was able to pass that test. You know what I'm saying? He probably looked at it like another rite of passage. Like, yeah, I conquered that style. Yeah, I've been there, done that. So now he got something to work with. But we shall see if the change in coaching was the difference, if it was a style thing, if it was just an off night, you know what I'm saying? Even though he won unanimous. You know what I'm saying? I got to see more interviews, and I got to try to see if I can pick his brain a little bit, you know, through the things that he's putting out, and also get the, you know, get how everybody else saw that fight go as well. You know what I'm saying? So I got some homework to do, some follow-up to do. And I think that, man, if Christian and Billy get past Hamza Shiraz, man, he would have a chance with Diego Pacheco, in which I didn't think he would before. You know, will Diego Pacheco make some adjustments if he would ever fight there? Is Hamza Shiraz going to be able to, you know, endure that same style? Kind of made me look at that fight different, even though I'm not sure. I think Hamza Shiraz is going to let them hands go, and he keeps that jab out there. I think if you got some better than advertised head movement, you can probably get with Hamza if you can box a little bit and got some better, like almost like how Carlos Adames did. That's not the armadillo style that Carlos Adames had. He didn't have that Pitbull, Nick Ball, Kevin Sadjo, Gustavo Lemus, Maidana type style. But that style is a real style now. We see that style can give a lot of people problems. Because you think about it, Nick Ball was able to get over on a boxer puncher like Ray Ford. You know what I'm saying? Maidana was able to like smack Adrian Broner. You know what I'm saying? He gave a handful to Floyd. You see what Pitbull is doing to people. Pitbull was able to smack Rolly. You know what I'm saying? But somebody that can box and know how to use his distance and fight off the jab and use his hook and use his feet, like El Rayo, he finessed him. He made it look easy, with the exception of getting hit, you know, a couple good times. You know, he kind of made it look way easier. You know, I think Cabrera, a style like that guy Cabrera, he'll make it look kind of good, like, you know, with that style. Not the most puncher, like I think maybe Sandor Martin can deal with that style, you know, because he's a pure box. Like, he know how to use his feet, he know how to minimize the leverage off of punches, and he don't put his head in the position to really get hit like that, flush like that with the leverage. So it was, you know, it was a great night of boxing to me. I mean, it was like better than advertised. I think that was a sleeper card. We got to see Sky Nicholson come back. She dropped down in weight. She put on a boxing clinic. Her opponent didn't make any adjustments. She kept getting hit with that check hook all night. And then when she didn't, you know what I'm saying, like if she didn't get hit with the check hook and she was getting, you know what I'm saying, the left, like all night. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't make an adjustment, didn't do nothing different, couldn't get past the jab and the check hook. Easy work for Scott. You know what I'm saying? I thought, man, if Mercado would have did his thing, man, I thought that was money in the bag, man. I had that whole parlay like locked down. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciated the card. I look forward to seeing if we are going to get a Cordina and an Abdullah. I think that's a good fight. Sign me up. I want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause Cordina can box, you know, and we're gonna see Abdullah Mason, you know, continue to win. You know, I'm not gonna manage him. I'm not gonna be a manager, you know, but in Flores, man, he shouldn't hold his head down. You know what I'm saying? It was a learning experience, man. He got to learn how to put his punches together. You know, because he has success. He has success. Maybe it's a little bit of technique work. Maybe it's bringing in another trainer, like, you know, somebody to add or compliment or to show him how to get his punches off. But the left hook had a home all night. You know what I'm saying? Cordina was just eating it like Skittles and just still coming forward and imposing his will, and he increased that pace. I think Flores kind of gassed being a younger man later on, you know what I'm saying, with a 10-year difference. But Cordina, man, he had the endurance. He had the gas. I think it was only one round, like the 11th, he might have took off a little bit. But he stepped on the gas and imposed his will. You know, AC had hit me and was like, man, this is why we saw Shakur, you know, kind of maneuver around the Cordina fight eventually. And I'm like, well, I'm thinking, man, maybe Shakur just needed some rest for real. And I seen some holes. I seen a couple holes in Cordina. You know, somebody with some more power, you know, definitely somebody with some more power could have did way more damage the way that left hook was landing. But for the most part, his face was clean, not much bruising, not nothing. It was just like the way it looked, I guess. But Cordina put on a clinic, man. He showed that there's definitely levels to boxing. And he kind of schooled that young man. I was kind of happy about the night of boxing, man. I didn't get to see much of the prelims. But I wanted to come out here because, man, Tito Mercado, man, what do we get from him? I heard he called out the big boys. You know what I'm saying? Are they going to be playing the looking back game? Because I don't think nobody with anything really, like, with anything to risk losing wants to see him right now. And I think that if somebody's ahead of them or if they're ahead of them in the rankings, they're not going to look back and give him a shot. He's going to have to climb that ladder, man, and force these guys to fight. Because right now, he's intimidating a lot of people at 40. And he's talking the kind of noise to where he can back it up if he get in there, man. So I look forward to the dude. You know what I'm saying? I've been talking about him all week. And I think he's refreshing to watch, man. He looks dangerous, man. That's why he's on here. So we got De Los Santos back in the win column with a first round knockout. We got Frank Martin back with possible knockout of the year. Him and Brian Norman might be going at it for knockout of the year. Tito Mercado might be able to put his knockout on there, man. But 140, man, and then we got to hear from Keyshawn with Jaw Jack and with Richardson Hitchens. We got to see if he gonna get, you know what I'm saying, Richardson Hitchens at all, you know. But 140, man, is a force to be reckoned with. Between 40 and 47, it's a force to be reckoned with, man. And once these guys get it on, the dust's gonna settle and we're gonna see what actually happened, man. But stop shitting on this fight, man. This fight is a good fight, man. It's something that we can look forward to. But I wanted to come out here, man, talk a little bit of boxing, man, give my thoughts on the fights last night. I was impressed. It was a sneaky good undercard, you know what I'm saying? It was definitely decent. I was entertained, you know. What's up, Boom?
Yo, what's good?
What's happening with you?
Oh, man. Last night. Seen Diego face adversity, and I liked it. Tito, just a dog, man. I mean, what can you say? I like that he calls out Shakur and he calls out certain names. I like that, you know. I kind of knew Cordina was going to show he could do what he do. You know what I mean? I'm not too surprised, man. But, again, shout out to Diego. He got knocked down, and he showed he could get back up and keep going. So, good shit on that. And Tito, keep doing your thing, man. I really respect it. I really like what you do.
What you think about him? No, evaluate him as a boxer, because I don't get to hear from boxers like that. What you think about him from a boxing stance, like what he's doing and how he's doing it?
He ain't doing nothing wrong. He's a contender looking for a shot, so you can't fault the man. But as a fighter though, he come forward, he control the pace. He kind of like demand his respect in there. You know what I mean? Which as a fighter, you don't see too often. A lot of guys just go in there and already think that they respect is demanded. But Tito kind of just, picks you apart, kind of makes you hate the sport. So, I don't know, man. Tito different. So, I like him.
He is different, ain't he?
Yeah, he different, man. I don't fault Tito. He different, man. I can't say nothing bad about him. I mean, why would I? So, like I said, I like that he calling out Shakur and shit like that. I like that because he a tough fight, and he don't suck, So I like him.
And Cordina, you think that was really a pace thing, right? He set that pace. That was like a pace thing with Flores, or what? What you think about that?
To be honest, Flores not good. Flores is, wash the goods. Cordina against him was just a keep your feet wet, like keep going, stay busy. You know what I mean? Flores wasn't really nothing too special, so I give Cordina his props because he does get his win, but at the same time, it's more work to put in and more work to be done. So congrats to him, but Cordina's a great fighter. Like, he's a great fighter, and I don't take nothing away from him. I just don't want to give Flores any credit. Flores got a lot of losses, and he got a lot of developing to do. I think he got fast-tracked it, the wrong way. And
yeah,
now he's trying to figure out how to get back to the top. So, again, this is a great fight by all these guys, but again, Flores just ain't going to sell it enough for me.
So, what do you think about they asked Cordina about Abdullah?
I like Abdullah, man. I do. It's just we're gonna have to be sharp. Gonna have to be real focused, and you're gonna have to be ready to really stick and move and not sit in front of him because Cordina can punch. So this ain't gonna be another Sam Noakes. It's gonna be a Sam Noakes on a way different pedestal.
Yeah.
So, I like Abdullah, but it's just gonna be a lot of work to be put in to, get that victory.
What you think about Tim? What do you think about Tim saying what he was saying, man, about how they need sponsors? They need what did he say? They need Starbucks to sponsor this. I'm like, where is he coming from with this trifling energy, man?
I don't pay Tim Bradley no mind. I hate to say it like this, but he's not on my Hall of Fame list. He's not a Hall of Famer in my book. Tim Bradley ain't that guy.
But why you think? Why you think? Because you a boxer, like you in the mix, you in the loop. Like, why don't he do? Like, is he just want some attention or what?
Yeah, because he ain't got nothing else. Like when you ain't busy no more, he try to stay busy by using the rah, and that shit ain't working, man. Niggas ain't worried about no Tim Bradley. That's why his YouTube don't got that many views, yo. Like, dude is delusional. Like, I support the low, the YouTubers that ain't got that many, but Tim Bradley, for you to be who you are and your shit ain't jumping like Andre Ward and shit, that should speak for itself. Tim, you need to sit the fuck back and let the youngins do it.
All right, and then like this Diego Pacheco, man, did he make you nervous?
Nah, Diego a dog. He showed me against my brother that he could fight for real. He showed me that it could be levels, but there could be a different level. So Diego different. I just don't think that he ready for Hamza Shiraz. That's all. I just think that's too soon.
Okay.
I think that if we're thinking smart, I think that we wait for Shiraz. Give Pacheco to Berlanga. Hype Berlanga back up again. Give Pacheco to What's the other guy? Fuck, I forget his name. He not that bad, but he not that good. But
And
just
Billy?
yes, and Billy Martinez, give Pacheco some of those guys. But I think that'd be ugly when he fight Lester. I think Lester will pull it off. So yeah, man, that's where I'm at with it.
So okay, but last night I was like, why was he choosing to fight like that? Like, why was he choosing to like lower himself and fight small like that? Like to bring his face like down like that to where Buddy
become
was
a target.
Yeah, like I didn't understand. Like, was he trying to show he was a dog or what?
His level, when I just don't think that he got the right like IQ of that. Like, it's levels above like changing your level in boxing and shit. Like, I use it in wrestling a lot, you know what I mean? And I transition it over to boxing. But when you change your level, you got to do a lot when you change your level, not just bend down and bend over and get hit. So I don't know. I can't speak for Diego and his decisions. What I can say is he faced adversity and he got that victory. So I ain't gonna knock him. We ain't taking nothing from him, but he just got a lot of developing to do. He's still young in his career, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm starting to call it the armadillo style, man. Like, if you got to fight one fighter with that armadillo style, you fought that style yet?
I fought fighters with that armadillo style, but they're never successful. They're never really like a challenge either. Like, I don't know. It's just, I know how to move and I know like how to react to certain things and what to do in certain situations. So a lot of guys that try to do certain things, they're not gonna get away with it.
And you Orthodox, right?
Nah, I'm Southpaw.
You Southpaw?
Yeah.
Oh, you Southpaw, man?
Yeah, man. I'm left-handed, man.
What's up, AC?
What's going on, bro? What's going on, man? I didn't even see the notification because I've been back and forth in the kitchen and a whole bunch of other shit.
Okay.
We cooking on Diego's performance.
Yeah. Diego, Tito Mercado, Joseph Cordina.
I mean, starting from Cordina, he looked impressive to me last night. He's not at the level of beat some of the elites, but he looked impressive. I could think of several different fights that I would be like, I'd love to see him in, because I think it might sharpen him up and shit like that. As far as Tito, performance of the night, fight of the night. He stole the show, in my opinion. I did like. I'm not even going front. I'm gonna give the female fighters their shout out. Homegirl, Kai Nicholson. Yeah, Sky. She looked like she's getting it right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, like if she was up against, and I think Alicia's probably in a much heavier weight class, and I think Gabrielle and what's her name, and Dubois' sister are in lighter jump offs. So I don't know how she would look in a fight with either one of them, and I just don't think it would be good for her. I think they wash her. You know what I'm saying? To a certain degree. Again, Tito to me stole the show. He looked really, really good. You could see some of the ring rust on him because there were a couple of punches he threw. He was like crazy off balance, but he got it together. Wow. Yeah, he got it back together, and then did his thing.
His ring rust was definitely there. Not to cut you off, but he definitely was able to shake it off a little bit. And there was definitely points where I noticed, I'm like, okay, Tito didn't mean to step like that, but because he had been in the ring,
like that one time where he crossed his legs, trying to throw the punch or make that exit, and he just looked like, bro, you look like you was about to trip over yourself and fall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I was still like, God,
Very impressed.
this dude is like, he's you know,
To be honest,
he could be
before
one
you-
of them niggas.
yeah, and before you continue, to be honest, I want that Shakur fight. I want him and Shakur to fight. I think that it's gonna be a good eye catcher, and people gonna want to see it. I think that it'd be good. So.
Yeah, for sure. And in the Diego fight, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think mid fourth round, I fell asleep, and then woke up in the seventh, maybe 45 seconds before he got dropped. So Diego, this might be one of those instances of where you changed your gym, and it's just not gonna play well. You know, we got to see. Sometimes, you know, it takes 2 to 3, maybe even 4 fights for these guys to like really gel like that. But other than that, I got some issues with you right now, Diego. You know, I'm gonna try to leave it to your next performance. But if the same things are there, then I have some real issues with you.
See this? What's up, Miller? What's up, Miller's?
Oh, what up, everybody? I'm over here listening to you guys. 1 second.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna see. I want to hear from the experts. I want to see what Teddy got to say. I want to wait and see if Andre Ward come out and say something about it, because, like, for me, I'm at a crossroads where I don't know if it's the Armadillo style. I don't know if it's he fought the wrong fight or had an off night, or if it was his camp, because I don't know if he that's the way he fought that style, the way he made his head available. It's like he brought his head down in range where it was an easier target, and he kept stepping and clinching. It was weird to me. I'm like, why you ain't pumping the jab and using your feet and timing them? You know what I'm saying? Like when you come in. But it was ugly to me. I was nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I was nervous as hell. I said, man.
Same here. And just to be honest, it was more like, you know, Diego, you fought that style in the manner than me, of where you got yourself in trouble with So Cold. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe they watched footage on that and noticed that there may be this little weakness. And I said, Diego, Hamza, and Boots, all 3 of these dudes, and even Devin, when you get into their personal space where you want to fight in a phone book, their first reaction is to clinch, because they don't like, Boom always said, he talks about fighters like Andy Cruz that knows how to create the exit. In the whole entire fight, I think it was finally in the 9th round where you showed you know how to turn them and create that exit.
Yeah. Like he figured it out at the last minute.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh man, bro, I rocks with you, but this was your worst performance to date. You got to figure out how to clean that up, because I don't think it gets you the push that you really want to be. And what his name? Lester Martinez that fought Billy last?
Yeah.
Like, you fight Lester Martinez the way you did that, Lester gonna stop you, bro. And I'm just keeping it a beam with you, and it's like, bro, I fucks with you. But you can't be going there like that, man.
Well, I mean, but what you think about Billy now? Like him and Billy? Because Billy kind of got that kind of same.
Bro, leave Billy alone for right now, because Billy is the sharper version than old boy.
I think Billy can beat Shiraz, you know? Like, Shiraz is not that big thing. I think Berlanga was he was too excited and stuff and want to show his power so quick, and his career being so quick that he don't wait for he don't work Shiraz. He don't let him get to the latest round where these guys cannot, they get way too tired, and he just attacked too early and he got knocked down. But I don't think Shiraz is that big thing. I think more Lester Martinez and Bailey, Osley Iglesia, those are the guys in 169. But Chivas, I think Mbele, if know how to work Chivas and don't start too early, that's his problem. And his guard is like he forget about a guard and he just try to plow everybody. Like Lester Martinez in that fight, if he just stand in like in how you say
Have a
halfway.
step back.
No,
Mid
no, no,
range.
no, no, no,
Mid
no.
mid
Working
range.
mid range. Just work the mid range. You don't have to be in your back foot. Just work the mid range. He will have a better night with Mbele. But
Yeah.
they went toe to toe, but it was not a good toe to toe. I really don't like that fight. It was more like
Yeah.
slugfest to slugfest. But Chiras, I don't see him like a big thing. I just think that they knew which opponent to put them there with. Like a chess game or something. I don't know, but I Lester Martinez, Osley Iglesia, that's my guy. In 168, 169, that's my guy. Osley Iglesia, bro. Oh my god, that Cuban, he got power in those hands, dynamite.
I wonder, has he fought the armadillo style yet?
Yeah, and Osley have fought a lot of different styles, and he sent these people. Now, what happened? He's in Canada, and I think he don't have visa to get inside the U.S. So the closest he fought is Canada. They got him Canada, Germany, places like that. They got problem with their visa entering to the U.S. and stuff. So, but he been in good cards too. But that's the problem. Like he's not very known in the state because he cannot fight inside the state yet. I don't know why, but he's pretty damn good. Osley Iglesia, my God, he's tall, he's fast. He fight those styles, but he know how to work them out because he's Cuban, but he don't work with this Cuban style of moving in the back foot and run. No. He's more. He fight, and he find his way and knock people out like very, very, very.
Yeah.
I think Morel was not a hype job, but he got a lot of promotion behind him. Osley Iglesia don't have the same promotion, but I think it's better. But that's me, Like those are my two favorite, Osley Iglesia and Andy Cruz from my Cubans. Like those are my two favorite. But I forgot what we was talking. That way was good.
No, Pacheco. We was talking
Oh,
about Pacheco.
Pacheco. Oh, what happened last night? I didn't see those fights because I was watching the Dominican card that the Los Santos was gonna fight Edwin and Mini Pac-Man, right? Oh my god, that was the worst card I saw in my life. Was in Dominican Republic, whatever, but. That's why I couldn't see Pacheco, Was a fun card anyway. But Pacheco is good. Pacheco is what 168, right? 160. No. Pacheco is in the cruiserweight.
No, he 168.
Oh yeah, oh yes, I know Pacheco now, the skinny kid. I was confusing him with Zurdo. Okay. Yes, Pacheco. Well, I don't saw him the last fight, but the previous fight I saw him, he still need a lot of work. He's like rough in the edges, like I think he's like a early. This one that is in 154, the Mexican too, that is very tall. Oh yeah, I forgot. Fundora. In the early Fundora, where it was very rough in the edges and stuff like that. I think that's what's happening with him and with Pacheco. The good stuff he got that hard. People always oh they get dropped and but yeah, but they win the fight and getting knocked down in one round and standing up and winning the fight is nothing to be ashamed. That's like a metal war, you know, like adversity. You knew how to come back from adversity from a fight, you know,
Yeah.
like look what happened with this one that fought Haney. That he got his nose broke. He fell in the floor, but he don't knew how to do something different to change the game plan. Nothing, you know, and he lost his fight.
Brian.
Brian Norman, you know, he
Yeah.
don't knew how to fight the adversity when Pacheco did. So I never take that bad. Like if boxers get in the floor, stand up and win. Yo, legends do that.
But if you get a chance, go back and check it out, man. I was trying not to overreact. I'm still high. I still like him. I just think that he do got a lot. He got to develop some more. He got to develop some more, man. Before you put him in there with the real killers, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Pacheco need a lot of work, but he's not bad, you know. But that division is tough, and he's young too. Pacheco, how old is he? He's not even
24.
24. So, and that division is more for people like in their 30s, you know, because that's a big man division. That's 178 to then 170. So those are big boys, big
No,
men.
168, you mean?
168. So, you know, like older you get, like your bones, your body's bigger, it's for a bigger weight. Like young cats in that way, you know, those are phenoms. Like little happen here and there, but that weight class is more, it's not like the super lightweight and the lightweight that younger you are, better your chances to win a title because it's this division is more about power and it's different. But I think he got future, you know, like if they know how to train him and know how to work him out, you know. But yeah, he need work. Pacheco need work.
So how do y'all see this open question for both of y'all? How do y'all see in Billy and Shiraz going?
Who go first?
I still got Shiraz beating Billy because for me, as long as he doesn't change, Shiraz has that ability to fight tall and he knows how to throw straight punches. To beat Billy, in my opinion, straight punches is what beats him. When you start to try to loop your punches like he's looping his punches, you give him the opportunity to punch with you.
Yeah.
The short distance between 2 points is the straight line. So for a guy who's wailing and looping all of his power shots, just let him walk into something straight, back, and then come down the pipe with something else that's straight, back, and you can easily pick them apart. My biggest issue with Shiraz is ever since the Ammo Williams fight, there was something that was a kink in his armor that was clearly displayed. Again, you're one of these guys that once it gets into your personal space, sometimes your first option is to clinch. They were asking Diego Pacheco last night just to take the half step back if he's coming into your space or create the exit. Shiraz has that ability, but he has not done it because in the Carlos Adames fight, yeah, we know he hurt his hand, but you still didn't create that footwork that we know you have. So my issue is like, yeah, you're still young, you're still learning on the job and stuff like that, but hopefully you're fixing these little things that in a fight with Billy, it could go the opposite way. You know what I'm saying? If Billy figures out how to give those angles and shorten up some of his wide looping punches, get in on you and doosh, throw them little short joints that that Hagler was really good at. Like when you see Hagler fight, Hagler get on the inside of you and nothing is looping. It's all tight. Boom, 6 inches away. You feel what I'm saying? And he starts to break you down on that level. Errol Spence was another guy who knew how to get in on the taller, more lengthier guy and then start throwing those little chopping shots. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to take on that type of style, then start looking at the come forward volume punchers, start looking at the guys that were excellent in that phone booth style of fighting and things like that. And you can start to fold all of that stuff into your joints. And I think Billy, if he did that, he'd be hard to beat. But he's still in some instances in that Lester Martinez fight, you did look like he was gassing. And I'm gonna say it like this. I'm not saying it as a knock, but you two niggas was throwing a lot of punches. That shit was a rock'em sock'em war. So I get it.
Yeah.
You know.
It was rock'em sock'em all the way. I hated that fight, but I kept saying if Lester Martinez if he would have created just a little gap, a little space, man, he was smothering his work. You can't smother your work against it. It's gonna look even uglier when you smother your work. You gotta give yourself ability to land and get some leverage on your punches. That way he'll stop doing that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? He'll be sitting back wondering, okay, how I'm gonna get in. You know what I'm saying? But if he keep coming, that means he don't feel you. So I just think
it's like and Bailey and you say
Martinez.
No, that one was good. But you say Shiraz, like I got him Bailey in that one. Like, but let's see how he come, because he was gassing out in with Lester, but that was rocking and sucking. But if the corner on Billy, because it's not just in Billy, right? Like the corner, like if no, they got a good game plan how to bring Shiraz to the later rounds, you know, after the 6, 7, 8 round over there, because and Billy can assimilate punches. That motherfucker can. Oh my god, it's like I think you need a freaking sledgehammer to knock that motherfucker down. Damn, he can assimilate punches. But if you can take Shiraz to those deep waters in the latest rounds and work him out, I can see him Billy like stopping Shiraz. But if Shiraz don't bring a good game plan and they do like CJ said, that like use the jab, you know, and be in the mid range. Yeah, I can see Shiraz like stopping and Billy like his corner stop it, because you know we're not gonna find Shiraz if Shiraz always stay in 2 step behind his jab, and Billy will never gonna catch him. That's how I see it.
I think that was AC, but yeah.
AC, my bad. You know I'm bad with the names and more letters. I do my bad.
It's all good. It's all good. I just want to make sure the right person get, you know.
It's
all good, though. But yeah, we'll see, man. That's just now that it's starting to open I'm starting to become this is an eye-opening experience this year with boxing, man. When they say that styles make fights, man, that shit is so true. Because somebody who you don't think should have no business, it's like something happens, man. I couldn't believe Diego fought that kind of fight. And it was no adjustment. Like, he did it. He finally did it. But I'm like, man, why did it take you so long? Because it gassed him. It made him use more energy. It made him more susceptible to take on more damage. And I'm like, I guess sometimes it's easier than what it looked. I mean, you know, because I thought it'd be in your advantage to just step back, you know what I'm saying? Use your feet, step back, and once he come in certain past a certain threshold, you make him pay and you move. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you embarrass him. You make him miss. You catch him, you frustrate him, you bust him up from a distance, and you move. But easier said than done when somebody just coming and pressing on you, man. Because I see that a lot of guys, like I was saying, Gustavo Limos, Maidana, to a certain extent, Brian Castaño, Nick Ball, and Billy, Sadjo, Pitbull. They
But
all
that
got
Nick
that
Ball is
armadillo,
dirty,
that
bro.
armadillo style, huh?
But that Nick Ball is dirty, bro.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
those
he is.
British are dirty. My God.
He is.
He fight, and I get it. You're so small, smaller than the small guys, so you have to do whatever you have to do to win. But damn, bro.
Part of their style. I know a lot of people across the pond be dirty. That's one thing. If if everything's even and you ain't willing to get dirty, yeah, you definitely gonna lose. Like they will get dirty. They hitting the back of the head. That's why I was saying with some of that stuff with Abdullah and stuff like that. Like some of that, man. That's what I was looking for ahead of the fight. But yeah, if you ain't fought, my thing is, look, as a boxer, especially as a pure boxer, if you haven't fought that armadillo style, things kind of change when you fight that style, man. It does something. Or you pass with flying colors. Like I want to see Shakur fight that. I want to see Shakur fight somebody with that style.
Yeah, but it's not just having the armadillo style, it's knowing how to cut the corners, like close the exit, like don't let this back foot boxer like make it easy for him, not just walk behind him,
Yeah.
because a lot of these armadillos, the only stuff they know is walk forward and just walk into that jab, and you just jab him all night in your back foot. No. Like this one that know how to move lateral and know and put that real pressure. So make them sweat, make them think, how I gonna get out of this? How I gonna turn this guy and put him in the corner, or put his back behind the rope instead of me, like. And that is when you see the real ones, and not like damn. But yeah, that style is complicated, but not everybody know how to work it, because some people think it's just like raise your gloves and just walk forward and that's it. No, like you need to move that waist. It's a lot of work, and damn. And mentally too, because you need to make the other boxer think like, damn, I'm throwing everything I got to this motherfucker, I don't do nothing to him.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm cursing a lot, my bad.
Good point, man.
Like, like,
yeah, I guess I ain't gonna stay long tonight, y'all. I just wanted to put closure to this going into this new week, man. I had fun last night. It was decent. It wasn't the best card in the world, but it was definitely entertaining to me.
So what would you give the card? What grade?
It get a B. It get a B because there was other boxing going on, but that one was going on. I got to see Scott Nicholson come back. I got to see Cordina come back. Tito Mercado, he put on another demonstration, and we got a GPS on Diego. I'll give it a B, maybe a B minus.
Yeah, I was around the C plus B minus kind of thing. I didn't want to. I still kind of feel that a C minus might be undeserving. You know what I'm saying? But just off of the one time that I watched it, it seemed to be fitting. But at the end of the day, it was still a good card. I was entertained. besides that, those couple of rounds in the Pacheco fight, you know, it was just I'm trying to just chalk it up as it's something that needs to happen between every young fighter. You need that guy that's gonna make you look ugly, possibly put you on your pockets, and if you can get through that type of adversity, it says a lot more about you than, you know, a person being able to write you off. Just work on some stuff and you'll be that, because that right there is the type of lessons that, you know, there are some guys that are at the higher level that needs to go through that. They need that more than anything else, you know. So you know, I'm still rocking with him. I'm still a fan of his. Right now, I'm really, really pressed to see what you have. And again, the card to me, I'm just gonna stay 10 toes down. I'm still gonna give it the C+, B- area, or somewhere in between. I'm grading it on a curve.
You grading it on a curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot grade that one because I don't saw it, but I can grade the one I saw from the Dominican Republic and from Chuan Boxing. You know, that was a F. You know, was a long core, was prospect and stuff, but Chuan said it was gonna be something else. You know, for close the year and whatever they did over there. But that was my point. Have a good night to everybody. Never, you know, stayed in the bodywork. See you
All right,
guys.
I appreciate you, man. Salute. AC.
Yeah.
Mauricio Suleiman came out and did a video. And you know, he broke it down. I'm like, man, it's starting to get real nasty, man. People are starting to expose their double standards. They also exposing the fact that they don't really know shit about business. He came out and said that basically the WBC, they sanction the fights. They gotta do they gotta coordinate the drug testing, and they do the life insurance and the health insurance for the fighters. So I'm like, and without it, I'm like, it's always amazing to me now how nobody wants any of it now. You know, I just think that it's just getting messy. But he gave an interview. He was on air for about 30 minutes with a guy. I think it was a Fight Hype guy. I went over that in the housekeeping. But he pretty much came out and was correcting everything. He said Bud was an excellent fighter, you know, and but the claims and the thing that he was saying was ridiculous, what he said.
At the end of the day, man, he's trying to clean all of it up, man. There is some legitimacy to me on either side of the talking points, but I'm not gonna kind of like try to feed into riding that middle ground and trying to say, well, yeah. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, they both were wrong because you brought it to the public. That was just some bullshit negotiations between you two. Where I have the issue is looking at the landscape and just following the breadcrumbs that were dropped.
Mm-hmm.
You come into boxing, everybody's willing to work with you. You start buying up important assets in boxing, and now you want to then bring in someone else who had a failed attempt in boxing because they want to circumvent the rules and shit like that. And now you and that corrupt motherfucker want to start to now create your own league and then say, this belt doesn't matter, that belt doesn't matter, that belt doesn't matter because you got to pay for it. So what matters now is the free belt that at the beginning was supposed to, define who was the true champion. And that's according to their own description of it. The true champion, or the man who beat the man who beat the man who beat the man. It's both of those criteria within the same thing that this thing represents. But now you're giving it out and you having people petition for fights just because you guys are, and there's this new wave in boxing is trying to say, no, the lineal is just the number one and number two guy. No, it's not. Because my question would then be, all right, and I wanted to Google this and I just simply forgot it, was to Google, at 147 pounds, before Terrence Crawford, who was the last lineal champion at 147? Undisputed lineal champion. Wasn't that Bernard Hopkins? According to what they were saying, or am I wrong on that?
Yeah, I think it was Bernard.
Okay, and then there was X amount of years that they were saying that we didn't have a lineal, and this undisputed guy, and Bud came in and he did that thing. Okay, cool. So if that's the case, if the number one and number two guy, how did we go through all of those years of not having a lineal champion? Your math and your excuses just don't make sense when you put them under the microscope or you put them on the scale, because you're telling me number one and number two, but there's a gap of years between Bernard Hopkins and Terrence Crawford. You mean to tell me there was never? So when I look at things like that, and I look at what Mauricio is saying, shit like that fucks with me, because I know you're corrupt. I know what you're doing is corrupt. Your corruption is been in our face, because we just seen it in other examples, to where you're making all of the, you're just making up your own rules as you go.
Yeah.
We've got history of you making up your own rules. You tried to interject your own belt and then say, you know what, you can go do what you want to do with this belt, because you wanted to protect one guy because he never complained about the sanctioning fees. So you knew no matter what his bag was, he was going to give you that 3% because it's about Mexican heritage and shit like that. So it's like, come on, man. We're not going, we're not going to fall for that. If people want to say these lights and exposing and all of this other stuff, y'all knew it's been pay to play since 1921. You can't tell me shit, because it's been pay to play since the first sanctioning body was created. And now you want to make all your money, make all your fame, get all the accolades, be the number one guy, and then say, you know what? I ain't paying to play no more. Hey, PlayStation, you better send me a cheat code that allows me to do my shit for free, because I'm a YouTuber and I got 10 million followers that follow me on and my channel of games that I play on PlayStation. Sony would look at you and say, who the fuck do you really think you are? You knew this shit was pay to play, and now you telling me, regardless of what deal, whatever, and now you telling me this, and everybody's like, no, he lied because he said X, Y, and Z. Okay. Well, when I Google it and I use AI and everything else, guess what is not there? Actual numbers, because everything is alleged and reported. It's reported it's 200 million. It's reported he took 50. Okay, so if I'm in Saudi and I want to make something and I'm saying something, what's the biggest way to do it? We see all these millionaires and billionaires do it. You devalue what the fuck you're actually making, so you're only paying tax on what you reported,
Right.
not what you actually earned. So Terrence Crawford, I understand why you came out in your face and all of these dudes is rocking with you like, nah. The nigga said he only made 10, so Suleiman don't know what he's talking about. But everything else is reported a $200 million purse. You mean to tell me Canelo took home 180 mil or 190 million to fight Terence Crawford, and you beat him and all you got was 10? You want me to believe that, bud? Nigga, there must be a pissy corner somewhere in Omaha that you trying to sell me as prime real estate property. It's just the corner all the homeless niggas go and pissing. Like, nigga, I ain't believing that because I could smell that shit 10 blocks before I get there, man. And as fans, we just got to stop this. We just got to stop it.
That's where I'm at, man. I'm like, leave it alone. Like, cause I'm starting to look at people different business wise. I'm like, y'all, I mean, I don't want to do business with nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how y'all do business. I don't know if y'all, but I can't stand them kind of people, man. I can't stand people who do business like that. But you said something interesting the other day on the phone, and I find it hard that diehards are having an issue with how the lineal works. Like the lineal, I start thinking about it like kingdoms and like how they go down through the roles as far as like when kingdoms were conquered and how it gets passed down or whatever. So to my understanding, it's been okay, if there's a champion that has a belt, when that champion fights another guy, whether that guy moves up, he gives a voluntary, or you know, he has to unify against another champion, the winner of that, the lineage gets passed down because I had it, so you beat me, now you got it, right? So it gets broken every now and again when, for example, like when Bud got undisputed, so he grabbed them all. The fact that he didn't defend them to where the lineage can go by, and he either got stripped or he dropped them somehow, and somebody else got awarded one. It's a break in the lineage. You can't just come along and be like I was saying earlier, it's like when it happened with Bud this most recent time at welterweight, Boots got a belt, Ron Norman got a belt. Like they all had to go somewhere because Bud didn't have no more belts at 147. So eventually people moved into those positions and they got awarded a belt. Like they got awarded one. So whether they had to fight somebody to be an eliminator to get it, they didn't fight the guy who had the belt. So the lineal thing is then broken. It's broken. The only reason why it's really continuity at 140 is because even though they stripped Josh Taylor of a belt and that went to Super Real, that was the first one that got stripped up off of him. The reason why it would still be that way is because Teofimo Lopez still fought that guy who had him, but he was the champ who had them all, and Tio fought that guy and beat him before anybody else. Now they stripped him of a belt, but the lineal will still be passed that way. But every now and again it gets broken if a champion acquires them all and don't fight nobody. So then they get passed, like the same thing that happened at 54. Nobody beat Jermell Charlo at 54 to get him. So the lineal got broken there because the minute he stepped in the ring with Canelo, them belts got passed out. It's hard for me to believe that diehards, hardcore boxing fans are still arguing with you about that. Then they don't understand that. As a sanctioning body, you can't come up and be like, oh yeah, that's number one versus number two, so that's going to be the lineal. That's not how that works. That's never been how that works.
Exactly.
If that's going to be the criteria for how you decide who gets your belt, okay, cool. But that is not lineal. That's something else. To call it, you know what I'm saying? Call it something else. Call it whatever you want to call it. But that's not lineal. That's not what that means.
Here's where I couldn't be able to give these examples because I was being told that Boots and Stanionis fought everyone. They cleared out everyone in the division. So I was like, and then I was asked, name a fighter that they didn't fight. I said Conor Benn, Blair Cobbs. They were all chasing AB when he was at 47. Because remember, he was still active. Who else? Virgil. You feel what I'm saying? I can name a bunch of fighters. You know what I mean?
Speedy Rashidi. It was a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, exactly. So the point I was making was you didn't build up your name cachet because your dad was making excuses. Oh, who is he? He ain't did nothing. Don't nobody know him in South Philly. So we can't say you were in that category that I was saying, as well as the reason why we had the man who beat the man who beat the man who beat the man was because you dudes forgot the word reigning champions. Terrence Crawford is not a reigning champion. The only division he was a reigning champion in was actually 147 pounds. He had 6 or 7 fights there, including Errol Spence. So the point I'm saying is Errol Spence was a reigning champion. He was clearing out the division. When you're clearing out the division and you do it like that, and you're the reigning champion, you can, according to certain things that I've seen in the past, you can bestow the lineal champion because you just beat everybody. And the last guy may not have been a number 2 guy, but he was the last dude in the division, and they was like, look, he done beat everybody. What, he might as well be lineal. Because when you look at it, and Jamel being lineal, I don't believe any of those guys was really like the number 2 guy. They had wins and stuff like that, but Mel was collecting the belts and knocking off the mandatories in the same time.
Yeah.
So he cleared the fucking division, people. Mike Tyson cleared the division. Who was Mike Tyson's lineal fight that was number 2? Nobody. He cleared the division. And then Buster Douglas, who wasn't even like really in the top 5, he was a cherry pick to get him ready for something else. Buster Douglas beats him in the biggest upset, and then Buster Douglas is now in the line of lineal champions. So at the end of the day, bro, there are so many different ways to get to lineal, but we're not in the era of reigning champions to a certain degree, because you can say, all right, you got a reigning you had 2 reigning champions, well, three reigning champions at 175 pounds. That was, you can say Kovalev, Baturviev, and Bivol. Most notables. You feel what I'm saying? At 168 pounds, you can kind of like give Canelo that credit. But as much as we say whatever, he was still a reigning champion.
Yeah.
At 160, it's all of those guys who got belts. Because we're like, why won't these guys unify? Because they're reigning, they're clearing out everything. As much as people say Deontay Wilder and blah, 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 he was a reigning champion. He had 10 title defenses. The fucking very definition of a reigning champion. Tyson Fury beat Klitschko, who was a reigning champion. Like, bro, that's how this shit works. So if you're not really a reigning champion, and you get the you get the fight for lineal championship, and I asked the question: how many title defenses Boots has as once he got elevated to that belt? How many title defenses did Stanionis have? Because that was a dude who was on a layoff because he kept on taking step-aside money. That shit that y'all was talking about? So why doesn't it matter now? How do you come up and say this, and that? But you guys would have been fine in trying to gaslight me and tell me Shakur versus Zepeda was a real lineal championship fight. Yeah,
for them to even say that, and then to arbitrate that him and Keyshawn, I'm like Shakur and Keyshawn, they was gonna try to arbitrate that Keyshawn and Shakur should have been it, and T.O. bought into that. Then they were saying, yeah, because him and Zepeda shit. I'm like, how? Even if you go by that lame ass, whack ass thing that y'all was trying to say, it don't even make sense. Like who Zepeda? Like how could it be lineal of anything? Was Zepeda moving up in one sanctioning body, becoming a mandatory and fighting?
Yeah.
Like he didn't fight nobody. Like what the fuck? Like that's why I'm like, it don't make no sense. Like even the argument, like people would do it to appease somebody like Boots or to show that they got loyalty to support Boots, but it's like,
yeah,
I understand that you think he's a talent. That don't have anything to do with like championship, reigning, lineal, none of that. Like for the history books, it don't. I mean, he was able to get one because Bud pretty much allowed the sanctioning body to strip him. He didn't defend it, so they stripped him. The lineage starts over. But it didn't really do nothing. Like, yeah, he was able to, 2 of the belts that got stripped off of Bud, after that, he was able to consolidate 2 of them. He got awarded one, and he took one off of somebody else who got awarded one when Bud moved up. That's where the ball stops. That ain't got nothing to do with no lineal or nothing.
Yeah.
Like, if he would have stayed there and galvanized them, like, if he would have stayed there and collected them all, and then somebody would have beat him, a lineal would have started from that because he would have been the origin of it.
Yeah.
But what wound up happening is Boots did the same thing. He moved up. Nobody beat him for it. He moved up and it popped off. So now Rolly got one. So it's like it's wild. And Brian Norman had one, but Devin came up and popped one up off of him. So Devin, because even Barrios got one like that. Like they all got them like that. So Devin taking that one, if he's able to go and get Crocker, he'll be halfway there. Then he would have to go get the winner of Barrios and Rolly, and then he would actually have to get who the last one? He would have to get
what for 47, right? You talking about
Rolly, Crocker, and Barrios.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So okay, so the winner of Barrios and because that's the WBA and the WBC. That's the WBA and WBC. So they're going to consolidate one. The winner of that's going to be consolidated already. If he go get Crocker and then beat the winner of that, boom, you would establish a new lineal right then and there. So then, if he dropped him, or if he pop him out, or if he don't defend him, or nobody don't come up and beat him for it, it's going to start all over again.
Yeah, and part of my issue was that started the whole thing was, listen, it's getting a little weird. And even from the time that I'm doing my due diligence and studying the whole history and stuff like that of the lineal championship, when Ring Magazine was acquired by Oscar changed some of the rules. Then he changed the rules again. You feel what I'm saying? Because there was the point that people may not realize, because I didn't even realize, and I was like, wow, that did happen from sometime in the 90s, and I didn't Google what the exact date is. It's just sometime in the 90s, from 1990 something to 2002, the ring was not giving out any belts. You feel what I'm saying? Then they made, in 2012, 10 years later, they changed the rules to say, we can now strip you. Okay, you can't strip me of the title, but you can take your trophy back, because it's just a designation that goes into your magazine. Because there's 76 years of recording lineal champion before a belt was ever made. 1845, it was created here in New York, and they were giving out, and you look inside that magazine, you can find out who the lineal champion is, the man who beat the man who beat the man who beat the man. You can go to the Ring Magazine and you can see that. So from 1845 to 1922 is when they started making a lineal belt. Y'all do the math on a playback. How many years is that? That's 76 fucking years, bro. That's 76 years, 76, 77 years. So the point I'm making is how do you strip somebody of something where the title actually just comes from a publication?
Yeah.
I'm interested in it because the history of the Lineal Championship matches the history of Michelin Star. They're both publications, and guess what the publication does? It's a fucking business. My job is to sell magazines and keep people buying my magazines. Same thing with Michelin. This was a tire company that made a magazine to tell you where you can drive on their tires to go get something good to eat. That's what it is, bro. That's what the fuck it is at its core. It's business. Understand what drives the business, and then you can understand when these changes are made, what direction are they going in? That's why y'all can't sit there and tell me about you businessmen and all of this, because you don't think like one.
Yeah, because even when you look at like them trying to demolish or devalue the sanction body now, there are always problems. There's like little situations. They create two belts because they want to get their fees, but then to try to eliminate or alleviate the whole entire ranking systems and all that, and let it be based on, you'll have people like Sean Zattel saying, no, I think Devin is like, I think he's the number, he should be the number. Like, it's like it'll be arbitrary. And y'all talk about, because y'all talk about in one breath, they talk about a popularity contest. It's like that's all it would be amongst the people who write. Because, you know, I always say, he who controls the printed page controls the thinking of this age. You will really be going straight to a system to where, just like the Council of Nicaea, when they got together and established that this person was who it was, who they said it was, you know, and this is how it's going to be, and this is how he did this, and then put it out there. That'll be the same thing. Like that, it'll be utter chaos
all day.
Because whoever's paying them is going to be the one, like, just like complaining about the ranking systems, you know, to a certain extent now. It'll be even worse because you can't, it won't just be like, okay, out of like the top 15, you know, it might be payola or somebody getting favorable treatment, like maybe 3 of them might happen. Like the only people that they'll be talking about are the people that'll be payola or rubbing whoever's balls. Like if I got a boxer and he follows Sean Zattel on social media and he's like, oh man, Sean, that video you did about Bud, man, I appreciate that. He will probably get the vote. And that'll be the one who you would put up there and say, oh yeah, he's in the running for lineal. All the people that agree with that dumb shit that Shakur was saying the other day about how him and Zepeda should have been the one. Like everybody who agreed with that dumb shit, you'll be dealing with that all day, every day. It'll be more political than it is now.
Yeah.
So it's like, so in closing, I'm gonna close this thought. In closing, the very system that was used for a guy who is late to the boxing game and just appreciate it, the very system that was used to get his attention, because these guys matriculated through one of 4 of these sanctioning bodies, rankings, to become champions, to become contenders or whatever, the very system that was used to get these guys to be the apple of your eye for you to award it, you're trying to alleviate all of that, and then you dictate who it's going to be. It's like, man, that's, y'all don't know, y'all don't even realize. And for people that's going to be so vocal about this without thinking about it, these are the same people that kind of led us down the turkey path anyway, and kind of sold us up the river to this whole line of thinking anyway.
Yeah, and I have to say it like this. You remove that system, what you'll be left with is the one thing everybody complains about. And then you got these arbiters of all kind of stuff. We all have our pound for pound list. It's like pound for pound is now the talking point is, yeah, but pound for pound is subjective. It's objective, it's this, it's that. Well, when Ring Magazine controlled the narrative, the Ring Magazine pound for pound list was was biblical. You feel what I'm saying? And then somewhere in the 70s, you had I think it was called Boxing Forum or something like that. And then they had their pound for pound list. You know, so if you remove the ranking systems and you remove a solid system that's been around, that's literally been around since 1921, then we're taking a step back. We're taking a huge step back, because the ranking systems was created because they felt that, okay, we need something more legitimate than a publication telling us who's X, Y, and Z. If you go back to all of those great black fighters who just never had their opportunities, you know what I'm saying? You're talking about a time where, you know, segregation was really real. You know, only a couple of black fighters could actually step out from that bit of segregation and things like that. So, if you remove that, then you're taking boxing back to an age that can easily be segregated. And if y'all feel that this particular group over there gets more advantages than black fighters, this group over there gets more advantages than black fighters, and the American boxing scene is yada yada yada, then why the fuck would you back Turkey and Dana White and what they're trying to do? Why would you agree with Terrence Crawford in him saying, well, you want to charge me all this money, but guess what? The lineal is for free. Okay, then how do you get ranked, Terrence? How do you get? So you dudes is jumping on that slippery slide. You feel what I'm saying? That got all that KY gel on it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hopping on that slippery KY gel slide. You know what I'm saying? Only to get to the bottom and then get fucked, because your reasoning and your rationalities actually say, I'm with boxing going back to a point to where the fighters lose all their leverage. Go ahead, do that, guys. Do that. See where that plane lands for you guys. Do that. Because initially I felt a certain kind of way. And then when I started to really, really look at it, listening to all the talking points, I was like, wait. I can't hold that mentality and ideology, because at the end of the day, it doesn't progress the sport. We're just using the distractions that they're putting in front of us to have us coincide and go along to get along with the fuckery that they're about to bring to these boxers. So nah, I don't want to see a whole boxing league that's UFC based, where the champion is gonna get some bonuses, but his highest payday, the cap on his money, is $700,000. And if that shit should do 2 million views, that guy still got $700,000 plus a little $50,000 or $100,000 bonus. $800,000. He didn't even break $1 million. Come on, man. What are we talking here? What are we really, really talking as boxing fans? These people are killing this sport. The sport that all these creators say, oh, no, I love the sport. We got to do what we got to do to maintain the sport. Then, you know what? They're not the greatest thing. You know what I'm saying? Just like the weather. The weather isn't always giving you the weather you want when you want it. You feel what I'm saying? But you still go outside and get shit done. So at the end of the day, think of boxing like the weather. I still need it because, you know, I need the seasons. when it's the rainy season in spring, it gives me plenty of vegetables and shit grows and I eat lovely. I can't control it, and you can't control boxing as a fan. As the boxer, these things existed long before you got into the sport. And on your way up, whether you were where they try to say you was forced to by the contracts or whatever, you ain't forced to do a fucking thing. You could just hang up the gloves. Go find something else to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know what? I'm done with it, bro. I'm done with it. Y'all dudes just getting real weird with it, and you starting to come up with this stuff that just don't make no sense. And you know, now all of a sudden, you know, because what he's doing looks a little shady to those who are really looking at it and understand business. The rest of y'all are making, you know, Terrence Crawford into a folk hero for boxing. Yeah, let's rally behind Bud. I'm gonna get the Terrence Crawford, you know, I ain't paying your sanctioning fees t-shirt. My TBC, I ain't paying fuck your fees t-shirt. I do that. See what you young niggas, see how far you young niggas get trying to follow him who already made it. He ain't got, listen, he can retire tomorrow. He doesn't lose a fucking thing. He doesn't. History books is still gonna record him as going up 2 divisions and beating Canelo Alvarez. You took one of the little trinkets from him. So what?
But legally, they trying to say legally by him not paying that fee that they're gonna try to you know, they're gonna do the whole Timo thing on him, man. I'm like, you just make a hairy spot, man, because it happened. It happened to like Carlos Baldomir or whatever. It happened to Baldomir, man, where they didn't recognize him because he said he couldn't afford it and he didn't pay, so he didn't get awarded with it. They don't even recognize him to him. I'm like, that's just, to me, that's just, I ain't gonna lie, it's just some nigga shit, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. So we can say now, because when other fighters complain about him, you know, people dismissed it and man, but it's like, no, they were actually at a point to where they were making that bread. So they was like, hold on, man. They looking at everybody else. It's like I talked about it earlier. I said the other issue is when you do that dung beetle shit, these other guys, they go by and they have to pay the sanctioning fee on the one that they have. When they unify, and they're paying it for 2 of the belts that they have. When they unify again, they're paying it for 3. If you come by and you wipe them all out and then you be like, man, fuck you, I ain't paying. Well, the other dude, when he unified, every time he defended it after he got that first belt, he was paying it.
Yeah.
So when it came out that you got a discount or whatever, how many champions you think said, hold on, man, what? Nah, cuz I'm about to have my lawyer call you, cuz like why why did he negotiate his? It's like it's almost like, damn, dude, like by letting that shit go public, you got a whole bunch of other champions that said, hold on, man. I know it was a couple people. I know like Earl probably scratched his head. It was a couple people that probably scratched his head like, hold on. Anyway, might have scratched his head for how much he be making and how much sanctioning he got to pay. Like, everybody like, hold on, man. This dude only paid 6%. I've been giving you 3%. Like, hold on, man. I need some bread back. Like, you could have called an ambulance. And then business-wise, it's like, when this a whole organization that do everything that these sanctioning bodies do, they got like, they got all these employees that do different things.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you think they supposed to get paid, bro? It's like, to me, it's amazing to me. To me, it's some nigga shit, man. Yeah. I can't even, that's all I can say. It's just some nigga shit, man, where it's like, you saying, fuck all them employees, fuck the people that organize it and do all this, fuck the fact that they rank me, fuck the fact that they sanctioned my bout, fuck all of that. I don't think I should pay y'all nothing. If you don't want to take what I give you, then so be it, fine. Like, that is some nigga shit. Like, it ain't no way around it. Like, you can try to church it up all you want, but that's just, to me, it just don't make no sense. It's like, that's how business works. But look at this, AC, I want to show you this because I said this last time. Now I came up. This is my December of 2023 pound for pound list, and I said it's only 2 names that I would have to change. Look at this. Look how my shit aged. AC, watch this.
Yeah.
You see that? That's from December 2023. I said I only got to move around 2 different names.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I ain't had to change it. It's like, because I know, like, I haven't had to change it. I mean, I wouldn't change it. I don't put heavyweights on there for one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I probably would have to pull my guy Spencer off of there. Yeah, I'll probably pull Spence off of there, but I still rock with Spencer. Just as far as pound for pound, I wouldn't have him on there.
Mm-hmm.
But he only lost to another pound for pound. But I wouldn't have him on there because of the divisional stuff. But like my list, that's my list, and my list, other than Spence, and where I have these guys, like some of the order of where I have some of them at, like that's the only thing that would change. Like it's aging like fine wine. Like I hadn't had to change it. That like I wouldn't. In general, I hadn't had to change it.
The crazy part to me is, and I'm not saying it in a negative way, but it's revealing and crazy in a certain sense, because if a person looked at you, right, and just never saw your list and heard some of the harsh things you said about Bud, they may try to say, nah, he a Bud hater. But you look at him and be like, oh, you telling me that in 2025? And you also telling me that before he actually fought Errol Spence? Because that list was before he fought Errol Spence. So why do I have him sitting at my number one? Why is he sitting there at my number one? Whether I feel he's the number one guy or not, I'm just looking at how you listed it back then. That's revealing. And it's just like, bro, the man just calls it as he sees it. If you're doing X, Y, and Z in the ring and you're moving up and you're collecting all of this hardware and you're doing X, Y, and Z, okay, cool. You feel what I'm saying? I understand B-Ball and Canelo space, because both of them are kind of like only fought in the one division. But they're
B-Ball,
I could see them going up and down and hurting shit. I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, B-Ball, I mean, yeah, because of that rule we came up with as far as the 3 divisions or like the multiples, like that's questionable. I would see how somebody would question that. Like I would see how somebody would question that. I mean, because David Benavidez technically
he's in his 3rd division now. Didn't he start at 160 and then went to 168? And now he's at 75? Because I could have sworn he fought at 160 early on. Because wasn't that where he lost one of his belts at 160 and then he moved up?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, that's me being a skeptic of my list, though. I mean, but even if you look at it, because people be saying, oh, they be trying to say, that's why I say I be a bigger fan of Shakur. Look at where Shakur at.
Yeah.
And this has been since December. I haven't changed it because it's like I stopped doing pound for pound, but I made that list. We getting ready to go into 2026. I made that in December of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that's how I had it. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't the biggest Canelo fan in the world, and I said I wasn't even gonna put people who popped hot on there and like, you know what I'm saying, and all that. So he had just made it on there. I said, man, I gotta let that go because it's kind of hard, blah blah blah. But like it's still aging. I just wanted to put that up there because I made it in December 2023 and look at it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but good points, man. Especially about that lineal. It's wild, the arguments, and I'm like, man, I be struggling with where boxing is going. Because if you agree with like with Keyshawn, I think he messing himself up talking about why do I gotta pay this fee? I'm like, dude, right now you should just shut the fuck up right now because
Yeah.
you're not in a position, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you young and you still boxing. You like Bud, like, believe it or not, Bud, like you said, he on his way out the door. So he pretty much like fuck your couch. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm smelling myself. You like a lot of these people can't do it. You are not gonna get the grace and the mercy that he getting because he on the tail end. He's on his way out the door.
Yeah.
Like, and people are making a lot of exceptions just because they favor him. They got favoritism for him. Like, they're actually rewriting history and revising shit for him. You're not gonna be able to do that. Like, the average joker out here is not gonna be able to do that. And you gotta look at the domino effect of this. Like, you gotta look at this shit. It's just like when presidency, like when it's the president in the first term, it's like, okay, you all right, okay, all right, I'm looking at this. When they go over into that second term, they be up their ass with a flashlight. Why? Because what they do in that second term, they know that you can't go past that second term. After that, that 8th year, somebody else is going to have to clean up the pieces. That's why they're more critical in that second term, because somebody else is going to have to pick up those pieces. When we having these conversations and we be looking at all this stuff, and because we want to appease people, these fighters or your favorite fighter right now, the decisions that they make and how they moving and all that, you got to think that the fighter that's coming afterward, that's why I always talk about precedent. The fighter that's coming after these guys have already set precedents, it's going to affect the people that's following. That's why I said, man, look at the things that Canelo, like when Canelo was moving, how he was moving. I said, man, look at how he's moving because he's setting precedents. When Bud and Shakur start doing things, I said, look at how they're moving. Like when they start saying, oh no, that's my friend and all this. I'm like, you got people behind you to where when they come in, they're gonna be saying, nah, man, we cool, we tight, we ain't never gonna fight. That's my friend. When you look at Canelo, how he was like the move that he was making, like how he was only fighting the certain people, how he said, I ain't gonna fight another Mexican. I'm like, you're setting precedents, bro. Yeah. Like people are admiring you and looking up to you, and they're gonna say, oh, well, Canelo, blah, blah, blah. So on his way out the door, all these things that Bud doing on his way out the door that everybody just like, oh yeah, man, he deserved and all this and this and that. It's like, okay, you all are setting precedents for the guy that's coming behind him. Think about it. Don't piss in the community lake, man. Don't piss in the community well. That's what we all got to draw water from.
Yeah, bro. And dude, just it's just saying to the fan base and the content creators, you know, at some point, when do you hold yourself responsible for being part of the same machine you want to complain to your followers about? If you're not speaking on it and speaking on it honestly, then where are you in this whole mishmash of this fuckery that's trying to be done to the boxing fans? You know, so I'm more like this. If you're a content creator, I'm holding you accountable for your content. You know, and if your content is not actual content, addressing, you know, certain things, you can be reactionary in certain things, but there's still that time where you know, are leading the conversation in talking about young fighters, different scenarios, and many other things. But where we are with people just automatically giving the benefit of the doubt, and then you got a guy who's, okay, number one, you do not have the legs to stand on because you've already been suspended for weed. We know weed isn't that whatever, but take the example of Shakira Richardson. She lost her ability. She didn't be able to do her thing in the Olympics, and then she came back and she's a terror. You feel what I'm saying? Keyshawn, you go through your BS, and then you're given a chance after the marijuana thing. And then what do? You miss weight and you go through that epic fuck up to whereas Bomac and them, you know, I don't really know how that situation ends up, but you now claiming that you have a whole new team. When you hear what Bomac had Bernie the Boxer say, that tells you a lot of what you need to know of where B&B Gym feels your actions and what you did. They're not going to train you to be a fuck up. They're not going to train your brothers to be a fuck up. So your brother lost the contract. He's no longer, he's fucked. So at the end of the day, your actions have consequences. And for you to tell somebody why you got to pay something, nigga, you better pay whatever they asking you for. I'm just waiting for these 5 joints to go by.
It's all good.
And for me, that's where my problem stemmed from. Keyshawn coming out and then to insert himself and, you know, act like you're raising concerns. Like, yeah, we all should raise concerns. Like, why am I paying? Because you haven't done anything in the industry. And even the guys who've done some of the best things in the industry, they still pay. Everybody, well, what about Ward? Ward went ham and Ward did this and Ward did that. Yeah, but Ward is still one of the motherfuckers that benefited from the riches of doing what he's doing. He benefited from paying. And once he got on his platform and stood and decided to stand on his soapbox, he wanted to tell you what was wrong with it. No, don't tell me what's wrong with it at that point. Tell me what's wrong with it at the height of your career.
Yeah.
Tell me what's wrong with it at the beginning of your career when all the accolades and all of that stuff, you coming into the industry and you're highly touted and you just let the industry know right now, yeah, I'm coming into this thing, I'm coming in to take over and not to be a spectator. And guess what? Sanctioning bodies, I am not paying your fees. Let's see where your career goes. Because you niggas know better. You know better. So everybody on their way out the door got something to say. Did you ever fucking notice that? They have nothing to lose when they start talking their shit. They're already out the fucking door.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could wrap your head around that, you could say, yeah, I ain't fucking with y'all. I ain't getting on that crusade.
Look, and to because Ward, he put something out there, and I said something at the time, and everybody acted crazy. Now somebody else keep bringing it up, and now everybody kind of want to acknowledge it. But he when he sat down across from Shakur and them, he basically told them, man, he don't care with the promoters and all them getting paid and all that. I'm like, that's another one of them things where when you outside the door and you were still a young guy wrong.
Yeah.
Like, we know there's a business all the way around, and it just goes to show that some people may have gotten away with doing certain things. Some people might have had great representation. Some people might have had great lawyers and people that looked out for them and people but in today's day and time, that's not a given. Like, you're more likely to get fucked more than you are to get taken care of. So it's irresponsible on your way out the door having all these young people look up to you, and you know at your heart of hearts what you're doing and what you're saying and what you're encouraging is wrong. Like all the sanctioning bodies and the rules and all that, right? No, there's always flies in the ointment. But I think that just throwing out blanket statements and being a part of the go along, get along game, or you thinking that, oh yeah, man, I'm on code, Man, I'm telling you that being on code out loud and all verbal and all that, like when you don't really know what's at stake for you, could put you in a bad spot, man.
Yep.
So it's a telltale sign to me that a lot of people, man, they are unscrupulous when it comes to business. These are the same kind of people that sign a contract for us to do X, Y, and Z. I show up, I do X and Y, and then all of a sudden they don't want to do Z. And they wonder why they getting their shit bust down to the white meat by somebody that look like me. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel. Like I'm a business. I got a degree in business. I study business. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to business. And it's all different types of business. Like, so I don't agree with it. I think it's a bad look for us. It makes us look bad. It's an embarrassment to us to a certain degree. It's a certain way to handle these things. Not like this.
Yeah, you just don't, in my opinion, you just don't handle it like this. If you were gonna go in that direction, I kind of feel like this. Well, it's not I kind of feel, I definitely feel like this. If you're gonna go in that direction, then come with the solutions. You're gonna make your complaint, but then also come with the solutions, because then it fits into people like myself and people like you who are solution oriented, regardless of how far-fetched the first thought may be. But we see problems and we see patterns and we see certain things, and then we try to come up with a viable solution, something that works. Sometimes we'll just, not comment on it, let it lament in our brain, using a big word, let it lament in our brain and shit like that, mull over it, muse about it, and then it just hits. Somebody may say something to you that's not within that space, but you then turn around and say, you know what? Yeah, I think that might be it. And then you start to build on that, and then you got a solution. So the next time you do content, you're now speaking on a solution oriented thing to the thing you just cooked on. When you have that type of power and you're in that type of position to where it's what you say, people are going to listen to it, and it's going to have a residual effect on those who are immediately affected by it, and then those who are coming up. So they may have many years before they're affected by it. We're looking at people like Boom, Jason Knotts. Well, let me call him by his real name, Trey Williams. We're looking at Jason Knotts and all of these type of young fighters and people like Joseph Brown and stuff like that. And you're in a position that you're in, and you're leaving this impression with these guys as you walk out the door. That's highly irresponsible. You have a response to uphold the same principles of when you were coming up. You don't hang out. You're not putting any foreign substances in your body. You won't even eat hot sauce. You changed your diet from beef to fish only. You're a pesca vegan to a certain degree. So you changed your diet, you changed all of these physical and mental things about yourself, because your thing was, I want to be the best. I want people to recognize me. Then once you got that recognition, you said, I'm going to pull some Omaha ghetto shit on these dudes. Not knowing that I got a whole bunch of young fighters in my gym that look up to me. Like, it's like, bruh, that was a real bad look. That was a real bad look. That's just about as bad as taking away, the credit of saying Errol Spence wasn't a Hall of Famer. And that was the fight that got you, that propelled your entire career. Because he was the star. You were a great fighter, great talent, number one pound for pound, but you were not a star. He was a star in the boxing community. And you beat a star. You beat one of the three faces of boxing at that point. And then you took that away from yourself. Like, But we've seen our favorite rappers, our favorite actors, everybody say some dumb shit or do some cringe shit. And this right here, just from my perspective of being a fan of yours, this was some kind of cringe shit.
Yeah, it's cringe. That's cringe.
So,
yeah.
I don't know where you go from here at this particular point. It might just be best for you to hang it up, probably do some commenting and stuff like that. My biggest thing is when this whole TKO thing really get off the ground, I want to see your proximity to what's going on over there, and that's going to have me come back to this moment in time. That's what's going to have me come back in this moment of time, and this is where I will make my judgment and give off my critique, whether it's going to be praise or whether it's going to be a harsh critique. You know what I'm saying? And whether it may even warrant an apology. So I'm prepared for all three scenarios. I just got to see what happens in the future, where your proximity is going to be for this, because Oscar might have been right on this. And that shit that Oscar said may age extremely well. So that's exactly where I am on all of this.
Well, I'm gonna land like this. I'm gonna say, man, when I was doing my research and looking at my history, and I was listening to some of the things that was going on back in the day, and I said, you mean to tell me that it was a dude out here telling us that no matter what these motherfuckers do, we gonna turn the other cheek? So they could spray us with mace, they could spray us with a water hose, a fire hydrant hose, they could hit us with a nightstick, they could sick the dogs on us, they could shoot us, you know what I'm saying? They could mace us. It's like, and we just gonna turn the other cheek. I was like, man, there was probably people out there saying, well, shit, sign me up. Like, every time we doing it, I'm coming. Like, sign me up, I'm down. And then only for some time to go by, and the guy that was encouraging all of our people to do that, he said, I fear that I may have led my people into a burning house. It was like the damage was done.
Yeah.
It's like when you got people going behind you and you spearheading some things, and you got this way of thinking, and you caught up in the moment because you can do it. It's like sometimes it's not just about you, it's the people that come behind you. And why weren't you so vocal? Because you weren't the first one. Like, you like one of the older ones, like older than Canelo. You're not the first one to go down this path. I mean, you're not the first one to voice their sentiments about the fees and how whatever. But it wasn't until you was getting the kind of bag that made you pay attention to that. Because it's ironic that before then, it was never no issue.
Nope.
It was never no issue. You know why? Because you didn't have to bear the grunt of it, because you wasn't collecting all of those straps. You would have felt it had you been going around collecting them and truly having to pay them for all of the consolidation of them. But you kind of got by on that because you was letting everybody else do the quote unquote heavy lifting. So they were also lifting those fees. They, mainly Earl Spence, he said something about it. It was dismissed. Tank, he didn't take that same route, but he said something about them fees. Why? Because his bag was larger and he saw more, and he had the game from Floyd. But when Floyd said it, everybody dismissed it. When Tank said it, everybody dismissed it. When Earl Spence said it, everybody dismissed it. Now, all of a sudden, on your way out the door, Bud said, everybody like, oh, yeah, man, something got it. No, I ain't paying. We don't got it. Like, come on, man. You leave. I fear that I've led my people to a burning building. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say. And plus, it's just some nigga shit to me. You know what I'm saying? You ate all the food. I hate that shit. You ate all the food. It's just like the Reservoir Dogs when they was telling the man, just pay the tip. They was getting ready to punch him in the shit for not paying the tip. They was like, man, listen, Mr. Pink, you're gonna pay the tip. You know what I'm saying? Pay the tip, man. You're the type of person that eat all the food and have all the champagne and leave shit a mess and then don't pay the tip.
Yeah, and then say, well, what did they do? You only brought me food and something to drink.
Yeah, like, I don't see why, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, like, come on, bro. Pay the tip, bro. Pay what's due, man. It's proper business. And plus, I can't go back to this, all these people that do business and know about business, it's a tax write-off. Like, it's a write-off. Meaning that you paying it, but you're not really paying it.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, it's just shocked me, man. Just let me know how many people out here that really don't know business, man. And so I think that if you don't really know and understand business, there's probably something you shouldn't really talk about because you're going to get fried every time when it comes down to it. From an embarrassment point of view, from my point of view, and then also from a business point of view, because that's how business is. So, that's all I really had, man. I appreciate you stopping through, man.
Yeah, it was a good little cooking stuff like that, man. For me, I was doing a little housekeeping. I'm talking to some other people in a content creator space, and it's just more or less like, look, just get back to creating content. Or a lot of what you're doing is not really working. It's kind of goofy as hell and weird. And you guys had a poppin' show. Why are you trying to piggyback off of someone else's jump off when you could have grown your channel? You two guys that decided to talk to me. You two guys have clear lanes. You're in states where these states have a boxing program. That is your lane. That's where you can get the same type of thing and put be a content creator, not a reactionist. I'm not running to channels anymore that are reactionist and then are inconsistent in actually making content. Like, I don't know when you come on, your notifications don't even run my algorithm anymore. I wind up seeing some shit. You know what I'm saying? And oh shit, he's live. Let me pull up. You know what I'm saying? If I have enough time. But at the end of the day, where I'm landing the plane is, look, guys, for all my peeps in the content creator space, create the content. Because where I'm at right now, for me, my New Year starts on my birthday. This New Year's that's coming up, December 31st and everything, that's some other shit. Because it's not even accurate. So I have to know my New Year's is always celebrated on November 9th. So my New Year's resolutions start November 9th. And as I make these resolutions, it may take time for certain things to start to kick in. But when it kicks in, that's that type of time I'm on. And if you're not creating content and you're not, and you're in the space of the weird shit, don't expect me to come. And as a friend, I should be able to come and tell you, yo, bro, your shit is slipping, bro. That shit is not it. And if you want to tell me I'm doing something wrong or taking shots at you, it is what it is. As a friend, I should be able to tell you. And if you feel like I'm taking shots, and what? What? Because I'm only telling you shit to help you grow. It doesn't benefit me. Only thing benefit me is a place to go to talk about boxing. It increases the amount of where real boxing content is happening. The channels that are really, really talking about boxing. The channels that are leading the way, paving the way. Because you got all of these weird dudes who are just running narratives and gaslighting the shit out of you. And you dudes pull up to their channels all day long and talk about, I'm a content creator. Well, if you're creating content, you really ain't got time to be pulling up to all of these weird nigga shit. And that's pretty much where I'll land that. Everything has consequences. This channel right here, content is created. There is a syllabus. The same way you went to high school and in college or whatever, or prep school, they gave you a piece of paper and told you the itinerary of what's going to happen throughout that academic year. You're in a company or you're running your company, you may have a whiteboard where you're writing down your syllabus and what you want to accomplish in that year. This is why days like this, when I get off this panel with him, there's gonna be a part of me that's like, damn, how did I not look at this notification? Like, I usually check my email so many times during the day, and for me, I don't even like pulling up late. Even though the channel may have just started, he may just have started talking a couple of minutes, or he's still into whatever. I'm like, if I'm not present and already clicked in at 9:15 or 9:13, then I'm running late. And that's not a good feeling for me, because it's like, damn, I'm running late for the show. Because I have that standard and that integrity to be like, yo, this dude is putting out great work. I don't want to be late to shit like that and kind of fuck up the scope of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Having to have him repeat himself over something that I should have been there for. So that's the way I am, and that's how I take these conversations. And I appreciate it, because I have no real love to want to do a boxing channel or do boxing content like that. I want to come over here and just do the therapy part with the homie. We get it done. We have fun. We talk about some stuff. We put them stakes in the ground. People can walk away, get that whole energy and be like, yo, these dudes over here, I appreciate what's going on. These guys, and especially this guy, they really talk that boxing stuff.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's where I'm at. Anything else? I ain't fucking with it. And whether it hurts your feelings or not, it is what it is. I'm not concerned with hurting anybody's fucking feelings. And that's where I'll land that plane. And good show today, bro. I'm gonna go watch the replay to catch up on some certain things that I missed, because I may bring it up on the next cook that we have and be like, yeah, I wanted to spin back because you brought up this point, even in your housekeeping, that I was like, yeah, I was on that type of time and I wanted to cook on that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Word, I feel you, man. There's no big dilly, man. But I appreciate you pulling up when you did, though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yes, spin around. Whatever you got, we'll address it on the next one. But
yeah, for sure.
All right, bro. Enjoy your evening.
You too.
All right, man. Yeah, man. Good show. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be too moved, especially with hearing from another boxer about the performance. I'm not gonna be too moved by Diego's performance. He thugged it out. Tito Mercado, he is intimidating a lot of people in the division, man. Joe Cordina, I hope he do get that Abdullah Mason smoke. I think that'll be a good fight. Outside of that, man, don't be a bandwagoneer. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Don't just jump on the bandwagons, man, because you don't know where you don't know where it's headed. You know what I'm saying? I know you don't just blindly get on this bus, just blindly just jump on that train. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit might be running off of a cliff. That train might be hit on a track that's getting ready to jump off of that track and go somewhere else. Know where you're headed. Don't just jump on the stuff and just be out here blabbing, man, because boxing is in a good place because the fights are happening, and as long as we start catering to the people that's doing the thing that we need to do to sustain the sport, we'll be all right. But the boxing talk is getting weirder by the week, man. It's getting weird, man. People who don't watch fights giving their opinion. People that got an agenda giving their opinion. People that's just in it for the super chats and the money giving their opinion. The people that really do the hard work, and the people who get they shit stolen and remixed and all that, they don't get super chats. Super chat the channel, man. The shit be organic. I get tired of hearing some shit that was said over here first, said somewhere else, as I watch them get super chatted, cash apped. You know what I'm saying? They bite the thumbnails, they bite the titles, they use the talking points, the terminology. It's so much, you know what I'm saying? So support this channel. If you can't support with a cash app or a super chat, hit the hype button. That's nothing. Share the video, like the video, comment. You know what I'm saying? Contribute in the comment section. Tell somebody else about it. Subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of ways to support people, man, especially when they keep it on the up and up. And we definitely keep it more boxing than anything over here. This is one of the channels where we do try to keep it all the way boxing. And I always say, the link be out there. I always say, stop me when I'm lying. The floor is yours. I don't even like when people agree with everything. Just don't try to force your opinion on me. This is the alternative to what everybody else is saying. Silence is consent is the name of the channel, meaning that all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we speak to the things that's needed to keep boxing on the right track, on the right path. Fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. Fact-based content, not opinion-based. Although we have ours. You ain't got to agree with me. This is the alternative to what everybody else is saying. Something that you can put in your rucksack, march on, get you back to critically thinking about boxing, about the thing that's actually going to sustain the sport. We might pull for the underdog. We might give attention where I think is needed on boxers that not getting the attention that they need. We might pull for the underdog just to give you something else to go for, because it ain't no fun when everybody just bandwagoning and hopping on a beaten path. No, we talk about different boxers. Every week we talk about different boxers. A plethora of boxers. Up-and-coming boxers. Boxers flying under the radar. Boxers who doing legacy type things, you know. Support this channel. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be around, and I don't compromise. You feel me? I speak my mind, man. I'm not a follower. I'm not trying to be most popular. But we're going to keep it all the way boxing. We're going to keep it on topic. And we're going to try not to be toxic. Anyways, thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.